better and prefer American odds, you'll get pricing closer to minus 106 versus the normal minus 110, coupled with instant in-play betting. No more spinny wheels. So download Sport Trade today to see the difference and beat the book. Use promo code 1580 to earn 10% cash back on every bet you place in your first week. Terms apply.
Sport Trade is regulated by the Arizona Department of Gaming. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and switch to the expensive shampoo with amino acids. Sure, you don't know what those are or why you need them, but it sounds very impressive. And if you switch and save hundreds, you can massage it into your scalp every day. Now, if only you can get people to lean toward your head to smell those aminos. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For shampoo, Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-410-6744. 800-410-6744. 800-410-6744.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Multivitamins are your partners in health. Their nutrients are key to your daily well-being, especially if you're planning to become pregnant. A multivitamin rich in folic acid can help you have a healthier pregnancy and prevent birth defects. That's why the Arizona Department of Health Services is offering a free 3-month supply of daily vitamins with folic acid. To get your free vitamins, go to azdhs.gov/PowerMe-A2Z.
Sponsored by the Arizona Department of Health Services. As we plan for our retirement, there are 4 questions we need to ask ourselves or our retirement planning advisor. How much? How long? How safe? And what cost? Let's start with how much. That is, how much income we think we'll need each and every year for the rest of our lives, including all the activities we want to enjoy during our retirement, like travel, recreation, and entertainment. Plus the cost of housing, including repair and maintenance, taxes, insurance, and utilities, as well as the cost of healthcare, including expenses not covered by Medicare.
Enjoy safe, secure lifetime income of 5 to 9% for life, depending on age and deferral period, with no fee deductions and no annuitizing. Guarantees rely on the financial strength of the insurer, so let's compare free in Scottsdale. For more, visit IQannuity.com, IQannuity.com, IQannuity.com.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K257CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240 EU Mountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's Monday here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580. As we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. And, well, what a weekend it was. Keon has to be pretty excited, and also sad. 2 different things going on with him. We'll talk about that here in a minute. And, I had a pretty good weekend. A little sad for my son because, as expected, the Denver Broncos, they didn't make it. Yeah. And then, Randy, are you crusty about the fact that they've painted the Rams logo on the field at State Farm Stadium?
No, I don't really care. The Cardinals are not there, so just go ahead and do what you need. Just make sure you clean up after yourself.
No, all right. So, what was your weekend like? How did you do with your picks? Did you have a good weekend? I mean, what about you, Randy?
I'm 100% in my picks because I didn't make any, so I'm 0 for the weekend.
That is one way to do it.
Yeah.
You're 100% correct.
And then I ran myself over.
Sorry?
Ran myself over.
What do you mean you ran yourself over?
Ran myself over with a car. I was in Miss Kim's car at O'Reilly's trying to get a windshield wiper. The first thing is me and NASCAR Nick. NASCAR Nick was here, and we changed the battery in the car. And you have to take off the cowling up by the windshield wipers. So you have to remove the windshield wipers. And so we removed those, and then we got the new battery in there. And then we put the cowling back and we got the windshield wipers going. And then all of a sudden, I didn't know you had to calibrate the windshield wipers. I'm old school. You just put the thing back on the motor and it works. And so it didn't work. And so I went over to O'Reilly's because I broke the windshield wiper trying to fix it. And so I had to go get a windshield wiper for Miss Kim's car. I was over at O'Reilly's and I got the windshield wiper, got it installed. We were all good. And then it was still doing this kind of fluttering thing. And I don't know what that has to do with anything except for I was going to go home and look at YouTube videos. And I thought, hey, I got this computer in my pocket, And so I just thought I would go ahead and look at the computer here that I have in my pocket, the iPhone. And so I was dialing up YouTube and punching in some letters on the search to search for possible problems with Miss Kim's car's windshield wipers. And as I was doing that, forgot I had put the car in reverse. It started rolling, and my left leg got kind of wedged between the open door and the ground because I was kind of sitting half in the car, half out, not paying attention. So it got wedged and it pulled me out because the car was started rolling, and it pulled me out of the car. And then what happened was I was on my side. So then the car ran over me. The door was open, and it got me along the side.
Which part of you did it roll over?
Well, the left side. I was facing the car because I had been pulled out and thrown to the asphalt. By the way, that's not a rectal condition.
Right.
That's a real thing.
That's actually.
No, a lot of you don't know about asphalt, but this was asphalt, and I fell on it.
What part of you went under the wheel?
Well, I didn't get actually under the wheel. I was just about to, and I was very close to the wheel because the car, my steering wheel was turned, and so the car started moving my way. The door had me pinned down and just went up the entire left side of me. So I have
the door went over you.
Pretty bad. I got a pretty bad bruise here on the left side of me. And all the way up the left side, and I got another bruise here. At very least, I have bruised ribs, and I've got a pretty good. There you go. See, I got a pretty good.
That's
bruise
a huge
on my arm.
bruise. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the car kept going. I got up. I lost a shoe, so now I have one shoe on, one shoe off, and I'm trying to chase the car with a leg that I thought was somehow broken because it was hurting terribly. I couldn't catch it. And as it did this beautiful little arc in the parking lot, the door snapped off when the car went by the delivery truck for O'Reilly's, came to rest in one of those parking lot, dividers that has trees or shrubbery in it. It jumped that curb and came to a stop there. And that's how I caught up to the car. Yeah.
So you lost the door. It hit one of their trucks.
Oh, yeah. Yes. It just kind of scuffed up the bumper on the truck, but it tore the door off my car or Miss Kim's car. Yeah.
So you got ran over. Then, of course, they must have had to call the police to come investigate this.
Well,
thing.
no, they looked at I went in, of course, and I said, "Hey, my car ran into your truck," and they said, "Hey, no problem. We usually tell the drivers, be careful next time." But they looked at the bumper; it just had a little abrasion on it, and the guy said, "I'm gonna, I'll buff that out. That's not a big deal."
Oh, you're
Not
lucky
worried
on
about
that one. So, except for
lucky.
now, your car needs a door.
Well, yeah. I took that to the shop today. Actually, Miss Kim actually drove it to the shop today. It's gonna be
with
more
no door on it.
No door. We got a ratchet, one of those ratchet tie downs, and I tied the door shut because it wouldn't shut. So I had this thing behind Miss Kim because I couldn't get in the car because the left side of me is all bruised up and I'm in a lot of pain. And so I ratcheted this, you know what I mean, the ratchet tie downs, and I ratcheted it and Miss Kim drove it over to the body shop. It's going to cost like $5,000.
Holy moly!
Yeah.
It's time just to get another car.
Well, I mean, we're talking about what to do at this point.
Yeah.
So,
wow, man,
it's an ongoing situation as we speak. Yeah.
You're the only person I've ever known that ran themselves over with their own car.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, when
This
I
is the
do
first.
things, I do them correctly. You know what I'm saying? I go all the way. Man.
So, did you get the windshield wiper fixed?
No, it's still.
Yeah, I guess not. No.
I found out it has to be aligned, and there's a mark on the windshield.
Yeah, at this
And
point, wow,
Yeah.
that sucks.
That was
an
my
awful
weekend.
lot.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So-
You know, and there's an engineer at Ford I'd like to get my hands on.
But I thought, wait, whose car were you driving?
Miss Kim.
Oh no, that's even worse.
Yeah.
That's even worse. She's. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. No,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
you won't be
Mhm.
allowed to again. I think.
No, I've been told I won't be allowed to.
Right.
Mhm. Yeah.
Man, I'm sorry. Wow.
There you go. That was my Sunday. That just happened on Sunday. Yeah.
I think you win for worst Sunday. And has anybody else got ran over by a car?
I did not get run over by a car.
You run yourself over. with
Your
the car.
Texans got ran over by an Ohio car.
Yeah, the Longhorns. The Longhorns got beat up. I felt like I got run over by a car, like
Yeah.
emotionally.
Yeah.
And then I drank a lot, and then my liver felt like it got run over
Right.
by a car.
Then Sunday you felt much better.
Yeah. So I'm glad those games happened in the order that they did. You get the bad thing first, but then you get the good thing second. It worked out.
But you didn't get ran over by a car.
Not literally. No.
You didn't run yourself over.
Only in the form of a metaphor, having watched that game.
Let's go to the text line 888-368-1580. Moldy Tuna Fish says, incredible story, Randy. Usually I hear that happening in Florida or like Ohio. Sounds like Arizona, man, might become a new thing.
Well, I mean, I was kind of bored this week, and I had to do something exciting.
Figured why not run myself over with a car?
Why not?
Sure.
Why not?
First time for everything.
Yeah.
Sir drives a lot, says, pour a cold one for Randy. Wow. Baker's Cocky Hen says, I'm so glad Randy's back. Guy gets pushed off roofs, then he gets ran over, but he still comes in anyway.
Yeah,
Man of the day is already done right there.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I'm surprised you're actually here. When you texted me that and you're like, oh, I'll call you later. You never called me. And I thought, well, there's no way Randy's going to be here. He got ran over by a car.
Well, I didn't call because we've been working with the insurance company, and then I'm on painkillers for my back, which we talked about. So I fell asleep.
That's
and
fine.
So now,
I'm
so now
glad you're
I woke up.
okay.
Yeah. And so sorry.
Golden Domer says that, my friends, is why I pay professionals to fix even the easiest things needed fixing on my car. Well, that's, you know what? Normally that it ain't a thing. It wasn't the fix that was the problem. Randy just forgot he was in reverse. So it had nothing to do with repairing the car. It had everything just, he forgot that he'd had it in reverse. And well, the rest is.
And the car pulled me out. I don't know why the car would do that to me. I take care of it. I change the oil.
No, it's ungrateful.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Maybe you don't get a Ford. Miss Wilbur says, holy crap, Randy, be careful.
I know.
We need you as the voice of reason on this radio show. If he's the voice of reason. Seabass says, Breaker Blender Crew, do you read me? Copy that, Jeffrey. I saw on Twitter that you were getting really excited for a Bucks win over the Commanders. Did you end up celebrating? Okay, so here's what he's talking about. I never tweeted that. Choro is here's the thing. There's like a Goofus and Gallant of trolling. Donnie is Goofus. Donnie is just a dick. And he just goes after you and then says horrible things, and then he gets horrible. He's just horrible. Choro is a funny troll. He'll come after you, but you're like, hey, actually pretty good. You know what I mean? I don't mind when Choro comes after you. And so he came
Except for
after
that time
me.
he suggested I was as ugly as Mark Davis. I wanted to fight him that day. I wanted to fight him that day.
Yeah,
I was
not
just
aware of
genuinely
that.
like, wow, what an a-hole thing to say.
Listen, I'm not saying
What parking lot?
I ain't saying he ain't.
We'll square up. That's
He's not going to make you want to take a swing at him. I'm just saying, in general, yeah, he's a better troll than Donnie, and
largely funnier. But that day, I was just already not having a good day, and then I read that, and I was like, sir, wherever you found that joke, put it back.
Well, so here's the joke he put out on me. I don't know how he did it, and I asked him, "How'd you do it?" And he's like, "Oh, don't deny it was you." He put on there that I tweeted out and says, if the Bucks beat the Commanders, I'll rub one out to the movie 80 for Brady. And it says 708, January 12th, 2025. So I saw that and I'm like, wow, that looks real. And so I had to go to my own Twitter page to make sure that I didn't get hacked or I don't think I
Now
tweeted
there's
that.
like fake tweet generators that you can
Yeah.
go and type.
I figured.
Yeah.
I asked him, I said, hey, that was awesome. How'd you make it? And he's like, you don't gotta lie. You know that, come on. Choro. No, that's not me. I didn't say it. It's all boo-boo. T. Licious says, happy Monday, mofos. Congrats, Keon. We're going to get to all the congratulations and all the games here in a moment. Hookamani says, yep, Texas lost, but the Cowboys won because Mike McCarthy out as head coach. I'll pour one out for Randy. Well, he's not dead. You don't pour one out for Randy. You just pour one and enjoy it. Pickle D says, didn't get ran over by my own car, but I had a pretty coming weekend. My 10-month-old son, who just got over an ear infection, had 103.7 fever, ended up testing positive for the flu. Then we got home from the doctors. I walked into a flooded house, pipe burst from behind the fridge, flooded the kitchen, half the living room. Hopefully my insurance doesn't drop me like those jerks did to the folks in California.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, they're going to drop you. Those people were dropped in advance. They were told, hey, we're not renewing this because you live in a tinderbox. Whatever happened with you, Pickle D, they can't drop you. It happened. They'd only be able to drop you maybe afterwards. The other question is, are you in Arizona? Whose pipes burst in Arizona? How does that happen? What happened that caused your pipes to burst? Ralph from Harmon Solar says, damn, Randy, wow, he says.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Ralph, we might have him on the phone from State Farm Stadium as we get closer to game time. He's sitting up in the ring of the ring of worm, with the ringworm. He's in the Ring of Honor, and
he's in the Ring of Honor. Oh,
well,
no
he's
kidding.
sitting there. He's not in the Ring of Honor,
I was
but
gonna
he's
say-
watching the game tonight. So, well, he wants to tell us how many more Rams jerseys there are, or if there's more Vikings jerseys.
So he's our reporter on the scene to give us like a inside look at what's happening tonight.
Yeah, I mean, and if he gets annoying, we'll just hang up on him because he'll just say, "Oh, I can't. What? I can't." So can't get away with that when he's in person. Navy Brad says, "Welcome to Skull, Arizona." I don't know about that. I don't think you're going to have more Vikings fans than Rams fans because of proximity, and I think that the Rams season ticket holders had an option before anyone else did as well. So I don't know, though. We'll see. Moist One says, no, I'm not reading that. Filth, you filthy filth. Magnificent Mr. Mormon says, Randy, you really put some new meaning behind saying getting run over by a bus. You literally got ran over. He threw himself under the bus is what that was.
No, the car threw me under the damn car. I mean, come
You
on.
left it in reverse. It's kind of on you, Randy.
Well,
it is kind of
me.
on you.
Yeah, it is definitely on me. Yeah.
He's like, I'm just glad you're alive. No, we're all glad he's alive. I got over the shock of him being alive when when he texted me, because you don't get to do that when you're dead. So, I mean, Bat Flipper says, I was with my girlfriend this weekend. My pipes burst. Okay, that's good.
Easy.
Donnie is just sent a photo of himself in front of State Farm Stadium with a picture of some little girl. I don't know.
What?
Why do you have a picture of a little girl?
Donnie?
Well, that might be a Viking. That is long, gold flowing hair.
See.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I mean, I figured.
Is that Donnie dressed up like
no,
the Viking?
no. Although some little girls I've seen do have giant mustaches. Ralph from Harmon Solar says this morning, 45 buses left from SoFi filled with Rams fans. Yeah, I mean, that doesn't mean you're filling the stadium. We don't know yet until somebody gets in there and we see it. And don't lie, Ralph, because we're going to see this on TV in a couple hours anyway. Moist One says, no, that's John Benet Ramsey. So that's who's on the Vikings logo. That's John Benet. I didn't know. That makes sense. No, actually, that tracks, I guess. All right, so let's get started. Before we do anything, though, we got to give away some tickets. This is for a game tomorrow night. This is for Arizona State University Sun Devils hosting the UFC Knights. Evidently, it's They're MMA fighters, and they're coming to town. And
I
The
think I've heard of 'em.
UCF.
they're not
They're
very
not-
good
no.
at basketball, but they're
No.
really great at fighting. But they
Oh, yeah.
get a lot
Yeah.
of technical fouls.
Mhm.
That's not UFC. It's
Very
it's
physical
UCF.
team. Very physical team.
University of Central Florida.
I don't think you understand, Keon. I'm trying to give away tickets. Here.
I understand that.
And these guys aren't going to probably be a whole lot of a contest. So
So go see a nice win.
don't want to lie.
Go see a free ASU win.
Okay, sure. Fine, we'll do it your way.
You don't have to spin it.
I was trying to spin it.
People like
This
to
is
watch the
about-
Sun Devils win. Go see
About
the
to
Sun
be an
Devils.
amazing giveaway. People are like, I want to see them beat. Oh my god! Sure, ASU would probably get beaten to death, but it'd be sure worth watching. They
You don't
win
want
the
to
game.
You don't want to false advertise though.
No, it'd be like 2-0, and then just the fighting, and then everybody get disqualified. So ASU would still win the game.
They would
Yeah.
still win, but now you've advertised the thing that's not going to happen because they're not going to do
I'm
that.
just trying to give tickets away.
I understand,
No,
but
you're
you
not-
have to tell the
feel
truth
like-
to give the tickets away.
Are you part of the problem or the solution right now? I feel like
I
you're part of the
definitely am
problem.
part of the solution
No,
on
the
account of
solution
I
is
want people
making
to
it
go to
harder
the
give
game.
tickets away.
And yeah, but if people go to the game and see something other
Really?
than what you told
No,
them they were
I'm-
going to get,
I'm
that
just
that's not,
dealing with the first problem.
there is
and
no
the
there's
solution.
this is not a UFC.
They come
anything.
back later. I'll just look at you and go, "Why did you lie to them, Keon?"
Which
And
is
then
exactly
there's
which is
no
exactly why I'm
problem.
setting the record straight right now.
It's no problem for me and
You know,
Randy.
part of my own personal
No.
solution. So now that I know that you're going to throw me under the bus, this is actually extra wise that I'm doing it this way.
Hey, listen, boss.
You're a team player.
Car.
Not to be
doesn't
thrown
matter.
under the bus. Like
I
Randy.
mean,
You can't take it like Randy.
man up, Keon.
Well,
man
I'll
up.
I'll just throw Randy under the bus. He doesn't
I'm
mind.
surprised my car hasn't thrown me under it. It's poor car's falling to pieces.
Dude, that is just held together by sheer will and a mirror. Like you met a genie and didn't know it. I don't know how. that
Every day
still runs.
I say thank you to it just for
Yes.
hanging in there.
Car. Thanks
Just-
for getting
just
me here,
keep-
car.
Keep hanging in there.
Yeah, I've had a car like that. Yeah,
It's been 13 years and
that's
a
amazing.
dream.
Golden
13
Domer
years in a dream.
says, "I'll take a ticket." So is that first to 2 submissions wins? Yes, yes, it is. So if anybody wants to take, here's what I got. I got 2 pairs of tickets and I got
Alright.
2 parking passes. So what I'll do is we'll give the 2 pairs of tickets away together, and separately we'll give away the 2 pairs of parking passes. And then these people will have to fight. There's going to be some fighting no matter what happens.
Somewhere. Yeah. Mhm.
We're going to have fighting.
Yeah. Of course.
So like we got the parking passes, and they're like, yeah, well, we got the tickets.
Mhm.
Fight, and whoever
Yeah.
wins gets
Yeah,
all
gets
of them.
the park. Oh yeah. Yeah. There you go.
I guess we could just do a pair of tickets and a parking pass per.
Just seems
I mean, if you want to be boring,
seems
about it,
easier and
sure.
Keon is already just kind of ruined it. So
Hmm.
all right, we'll do it the boring way, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants these ASU tickets with a parking pass to see the UFC Knights fight ASU basketball,
Oh yeah. There's going to be a fight.
then just text in.
Is it the girls of the UFC or is it the guys
It's
of the
boys.
UFC?
It's all
The
boys.
boys. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Are they in the same conference as the ASU?
yeah, they're the Big 12.
Are they any good? I feel like the ASU is going to beat them.
Well, I mean, it depends on what they're playing. If it's UFC, if it's
Well,
the combat
Well, if
sport,
it's straight up basketball, I'm guessing they're not.
no, then they'll lose. Yeah.
Sir Drives a Lot says Jeffrey's out for blood. Yeah, why not? Silver Pop says, good afternoon, guys. Happy Monday. So the tickets are for ASU versus University of Championship Fighters. Yeah, something like that. UCF.
Mhm.
Balls of Fury says, relax, Keon. You're being part of the problem right now.
I am literally not. I am trying to say, hey, this is a basketball game. You will only see basketball when you show up. So that you're
Uh-huh.
not disappointed when you go there and expect,
Right.
a
What
5-on-5
if there's a fight in the stand?
tag team UFC match, and then it's not that. I can't guarantee about the fight
Yeah.
in the stands. That's you can't advertise that because you don't know if it's going to happen. Also, UCF is 11-4, so
So if you want these tickets, you have to promise to start a fight in the stands.
you really, I
Mm.
think that is
There
a
it
dangerous
is.
thing
Yeah.
to have people promise to do.
Well, the
Suns in
interesting
four!
thing.
Suns in 4.
No. It's ASU. and you put the ASU. Our tickets, I think, are together. So if the rule is you have to start a fight, they're likely going to start a fight with another texter, and then and this could get interesting.
Oh yeah. Very interesting.
They don't give us a lot of stuff to give away anymore, do they? I feel
I
like this
can't imagine why. I'm
be connected to this.
Grasping at straws as to how that could possibly happen. Why wouldn't they want us to give away tickets? I can't think of any reason.
I don't know.
I am a visionary. Bat Flipper says UCF and ASU could both beat the Wizards.
That's true.
Yeah, that's
they're very bad at basketball.
Really unnecessary, but true. Kiss the Cook says my wife suggested for me to take classes to learn how to be a beekeeper. Can I change my radio name to Nut and Honey? No, you're Kiss the Cook. Drives a lot says tag team ultimate fighting sounds awesome, doesn't it? Golden Domer says Bill Lambier was my favorite UFC hoopster.
Well, there you go.
I don't know. He was actually good at fighting, but he was always down for a fight.
Mm-hmm.
Was
which in basketball is good enough,
I guess.
Didn't he clubbed a guy a couple of times with his that giant fist of his, didn't he?
Larry Bird in his face.
Yeah.
Which is why Larry hated him.
All right. So for official purposes, these are ASU basketball tickets hosting the UCF Knights. There's no fighting. You are not required to fight. There's probably not going to be a fight. So if you want these tickets, say, hey, I want the tickets. This game, by the way, is tomorrow at 9 p.m., which is a great time for a basketball game.
Well,
as late as possible on a Tuesday.
Going to be on TV, isn't it? Is that why?
I think that's why I am.
For who? For who at 9 p.m.?
I think it's on the
Did
ESPN.
Hawaii say, hey, could you give us one that works for us? Because 9 p.m.? Whose idea was this?
I don't know, but I'm guessing if they have a double header going, then the team that's always playing in the West is the one that kind of gets hosed on that.
Wait, then who's? I don't understand how. I don't understand how somebody in the East is like benefited by having a game at 11 p.m.
Because then the East Coast game got done earlier.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
We're getting hosed. Yeah, like
everybody's getting hosed over here. Oh, I thought you were saying one of the team. Okay.
Yeah.
Moist One says John Jones would be a nightmare in the paint. You're not kidding. Burger Wolf says Vikings are going to get kicked right in the Donnies by the Rams tonight. Gonna get kicked in the Donnies. Then they're gonna crap out their elk steam burritos right out of their Chief Skulls. Vikings suck. All wives of Vikings fans are going to have to hide tonight. The threat of headlocks and full Nelsons are real. Go Rams.
What?
There's a lot going on in that text.
There's so much happening.
Pickle D with the purse pipes. He says, yeah, I'm in Arizona. It's just a old pipe. Insurance is saying the plumbing isn't covered because it's normal wear and tear. Have a feeling I'm going to have a long fight on my hands. Yeah, I don't know what your policy says, but I'm not surprised they're trying to screw you over. Quiet Cannon says, Randy, get ready for the question from one of the attorneys that calls in. They're going to want to know if you're liable for it. Hit and run, since you being the guilty party and the victim. Did you report yourself?
I'll sue myself.
Yeah. Just be honest, I didn't stay. I don't know why, but I didn't stay to talk to me, and I waited for me, but I never showed up. Yeah, this was a hit and run.
Yeah.
Put your hand out like where's the check? Come on.
I'll sue myself, right?
Probably getting hosed on that deal too. Holy crap, we're running late. Look at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want the ASU tickets, in all seriousness, one pair of tickets plus a parking pass for the game tomorrow night, 9 p.m., just text in. Right now, we got to take a break. And we come back, we're going to sort out all the stuff that happened over the weekend in the NFL. It's pretty much all we're going to have time for. We have to step aside at 5:30 for the Monday Night Football, the Vikings and the Rams and all that. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's action update on 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic. This update brought to you by Sport Trade. Download the Sport Trade app and use code VSIN to earn 10% cash back on every bet in your first week. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
NFL, the Rams and the Vikings will play in Glendale tonight as the NFC playoffs continue. The game moved from SoFi Stadium to Arizona due to the wildfires in Southern California. The winner will advance to the divisional round in a matchup with the Philadelphia Eagles. The Vikings went 14-3 this past season, narrowly missing out on the NFC North title to the Detroit Lions, while the Rams won the NFC West with a 10-7 mark. The Vikings are a 2.5-point favorite, minus 135 on the money line. The Rams are plus 115 with the over-under of 47.5. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
It's fall football on the Fanatic. Catch all the live game play-by-play, Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday day and night NFL games, plus the Saturday NCAA football game of the week. It's all right here on the Valley's home for football. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part, they accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
On the road again. Just Neil. First of all, stop singing. Second of all, why are you singing?
I think he's singing about our Super Sunday pregame show coming up on the morning of the big game.
That's right. On February 9th, we're broadcasting live from the Spot Neighborhood Grill in Glendale. We'll talk about football, of course. We'll have special guests and great audience giveaway.
And listeners can meet the Weekend Warriors in person.
So join us live for the Weekend Warriors Super Sunday Preview Show
at the Spot Neighborhood Grill on Bell Road in Glendale.
February 9th from 9 to noon on 1580 The Fanatic.
Hey, Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. You ever get a question and you're like, well, I feel like we're being set up for something. Rainy City Bitch Pigeon says, if you could pick a current starting quarterback to be your quarterback for the next 10 years, how many names would you say before you got to Jaden Daniels?
I think it
maybe
be
none
one or two.
Maybe none.
Yeah, I was gonna,
who would you want at this point, knowing everything you know, before Jaden Daniels? I really like Jaden Daniels.
The kid is amazing. He would be in my top two.
Well, who's your other one?
Come on, man.
No, I don't know who. It's not Kyler Murray.
No, the Chiefs. 15 would be the guy.
Well, 10 years. Oh, that's a good point. 10 years from now or 10 years?
The next 10. From the next 10.
I don't know if you want him for the next 10. I mean, how long has Patrick Mahomes been around? In 10 years, he might not still be firing on all cylinders. This guy, he just started. So, yeah, Jaden Daniels has solid 10 years ahead of him.
I have nothing but good things to say about Jaden Daniels, except that he left ASU, transferred out to LSU.
Can you blame him after what happened with Hermie?
No, I don't. I don't blame him. But I I still feel, that kind of angst that. But listen, I don't blame him as a personal situation for him,
and I think he had to leave to become the guy.
I'm not saying that he's not. I'm just saying from the standpoint of an ASU fan, I hate it. But listen,
no, I hear it. I get it.
I have nothing but good things to say about Jaden Daniels. Nothing but good things. I think that, but you got to take the guy right now. 3-time Super Bowl champion.
Mm-hmm.
Look what he's done in the league so far.
How many more years does he have left? You think, Keon?
A lot. I mean,
he hasn't been beat up. Patrick Mahomes has 10 solid years left.
He has not been beat up.
I do.
He's been beat up. Remember, his kneecap went down to his ankle once.
That's one thing.
Yeah, but I mean, early in Tom Brady's career, his entire leg broke. He missed the season. You know, I mean, Matt Castle got a contract filling in for Tom Brady that year.
Right.
So you guys get hurt, but like Patrick Mahomes has not suffered any kind of injury that's going to stop him from being Patrick Mahomes.
You didn't answer the question though. He's got 10 solid years ahead of him.
Yeah.
10. How old's he right now?
He's 29.
So he'd be 39.
Yeah.
He might have 10 solid years ahead of him, but Jaden Daniels definitely has 10 solid years ahead of him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, you know what? I guess I wouldn't be mad at either of them. I guess I wouldn't be mad.
I don't hope this happens, but I feel like it's going to happen. Jaden Daniels at some point is going to deal with an injury.
Sure.
At some point, it's going to happen. And
he
I
might
hope
get
it's
ran
not
over by his own car, too.
might get run over by his own car.
He's getting run over by his offensive coordinator, but we'll talk about that.
It's good that I didn't have the Ferrari that I've always wanted, because that would not be good.
It would have cleared you.
I would have drugged me around the parking lot.
Or, well, maybe the car would have stopped. You would have been like the Chalks,
maybe
the Chalks.
Maybe, yeah, I could see that.
Do we need to talk about last night's game first? I feel like we need to talk about last night's game first. Usually we go in the order that all the games happen in, but I feel like maybe we need to talk about last night's game first. Do you think that's probably a good idea, Keon?
I'm
itching to talk about it.
Yes and no. Yes, because obviously the game was the game went the way I wanted. I'm incredibly happy about it.
It was the best game of the weekend.
But just thinking about that game makes me anxious all over again. Every time I see the highlight of that doink.
Yes. I knew. I told my wife.
My heart rate spikes.
Keon went through so many different emotions in these last couple of seconds, because I'm sure at first you thought it didn't go in until they said it went in, because even the announcers are like, did it go in? Is it in? Because he couldn't tell from that angle.
He's walking up to go kick the field goal. He's fixing his hair. Then he almost puts the helmet on.
Yeah, what was up with that?
He has OCD.
No, I mean, yeah, I figured that.
It's severe. Like they were saying on the sideline, he actually kept tying his shoe and then untying his shoe and then retying his shoe.
But if he had not got up to the line quick enough with that nonsense?
He did.
So I know, but that's got to make you nervous. It's like, stop it, just go.
But also, he wasn't. It's crazy because he wasn't their first option at kicker. He wasn't the second option. I mean, they kept trying out different guys all summer.
Quattro.
Brandon McManus was supposed to be the guy to start the year, and he was awful. And then various kickers got hurt throughout the season, and Zane Gonzalez wound up being the guy. Also former Sun Devil, from what I understand.
Yeah. So weird little fella. But he got the job done. But man, when he came out there acting like that, I'm like, this dude could completely miss.
I've never seen.
He could completely miss from this distance.
his nerves made me nervous.
You're like, this is not going to go well, and it almost didn't. He almost blew it.
They went to the left hash mark, and they needed every bit of moving the ball on that side of the field just to get it in there. So,
yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
That was a miracle ending. But I knew when there was just that much time left on the clock, and as the Commandos started to whittle it down, and it got down and down and down, it was like, yeah, I don't think the Bucs are getting this ball back. And here's the thing, Baker Mayfield is really taking it on, himself because of that fumble. But here's the thing. I feel like the Buccaneers got away with a non-call on pass interference. That should have been called when it was a turnover on downs. And then because of that fumble, the Commandos got it back. And so what should have happened was them scoring is just what happened. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they did get the ball back. They got the ball back. They had an opportunity. So, yeah, it's not Baker Mayfield's mistake. Now, had he not made the mistake, well, then, yeah, I don't think Commandos would have won the game. But really, in a circle of life sort of universe writing itself kind of thing, it happened the way it was.
So you're saying it's not Baker's fault; it was just karma.
It's just fate, because it was just you guys got screwed over on a non-call of pass interference, and then like the next play, boom, boom, the next. It came right back to you.
That was the other moment in the game where I was just like, I need to do something else right now. I need to. and then they recovered the fumble. And, of course, I'm losing my mind. I'm running around everywhere, screaming like an idiot. Like, oh, they got the ball back. They got it back. It was a lot. It was too many emotions in too short a time. I need this team to win a game where I don't nearly suffer a heart attack.
Yeah,
'Cause
I
that's-
turned to my wife and I was like, I was going to text and bother him for this, and I'm like, I don't think I should right now.
I wouldn't have responded.
I just
my phone was away from me. I couldn't
Yeah,
look at it.
that's
I couldn't
wise.
touch it. I'm not on social media during games. I just can't. I can't. It's just too much
But
anxiety.
it was the best game of the weekend. A lot of these games just kind of turned a little duddish, but this one, you didn't know. You didn't know till the very end what was going to happen, and I was kind of hoping for an overtime, but I saw how they were working that clock management, and I'm like, there will be no overtime. This is going to be a win right here. And Jaden Daniels, that's his third no turnover, no punt game for the Commandos. So hard not to be excited about him no matter what happens next. By the way, I'm sorry for your loss.
You mean Texas?
No. Commandos have to play Lions.
Oh yeah, no. I mean,
yeah, that's the end.
Yeah, but they're the 6th seed. Of course, they were going to play the. That was always going to be the case if they won the game. So to me, it's like
you want a playoff game. What? Don't get greedy.
I wasn't.
Don't get greedy.
I even said on Friday that's the only thing I want. I'm not thinking Super Bowl. I'm not. For me, this is about a timeline. I want to root for a team that has a chance to win every year. I'm not so concerned about this is the one year. It's like that's a little frustrating. I want a team that can kind of be in it year after year, and I think that's what they're trying to build. That's what I'm excited about.
Speaking of building, they're going to start demolishing the old RFK Stadium later this month. So yeah, I guess they've decided to build the new stadium exactly on that site. So all the history will be right there. So things are looking your way for your team. I mean, I've never seen this before in my life. How 1 year a team is just bleh, and then all of a sudden you got everything you wanted, Keon. Everything you wanted to start happening. New owner, new coach, new quarterback, and now you're going to get a new stadium. Everything is going the way of the Commandos.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the fastest turnaround I've ever seen, but
exactly,
it is one of those things where you just go, okay, yeah, it was the whole time. It was Dan Snyder. Like that was like you it's the best example of how fast a team can change if you replace a bad owner, a very bad owner, with a very good owner, and Josh Harris, who makes sense, hires his right people, and then gets out of the way, and then those people do their jobs at a high level. It's really fun to watch. And like to me, the thing that I wanted was that stat that I see on TV every time the Commanders do find their way wandering into the playoffs is, have you known it's been 18 years since the Commanders have won a playoff game? Like you just don't want to be on that little thing that they put on the screen all the time. It's gone. That's all I wanted out of this playoff run, and I got it, and I'm good.
Congratulations on that. And who knows what might happen next, but you got a new stadium on the way. Now, here's the bad news. Probably won't be here until 2030.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it's a
5 years.
It's a massive structure made to hold tens of thousands of people. It's not going to be built quickly. That's fine. We'll
it might get even slower since they're closing down borders here pretty soon. You know what I'm saying? It's going to get slower. Just the facts, man. It's just the facts. The Jet says, or possibly Houston over Kansas City. He says that would be the upset, but it's probably going to be Washington over Detroit.
I'm not counting. I'm not counting anything.
Man,
I've been saying this all year long, and it is still true. Just enjoying the ride, man.
Just enjoy the ride.
I'm not looking. Not looking forward to anything. I already didn't think this was possible, so gonna have some fun. But yeah, I got a friend who's a Lions fan. He's already trolling me today. So like that's this is gonna be my week and my weekend, and we'll probably watch the game together, and it'll be real sad for me, but that's okay.
Raven Kid says, funny how Jaden Daniels has done the exact thing Caleb Williams told his punter after the draft with the whole, you don't have to do much this year, and the Bears lead the league in punts. What's he talking about?
Caleb Williams, when he got drafted, told the punter, you're not going to have to do much this year. And then
he did a lot this year.
He did a lot. And I think that like part of that is Caleb's a little bit of a cocky guy, so that's going to be the downside of that. But I also think that like as much as I give Jaden a lot of credit, they put a lot in place around him to help him be successful, and the Bears did not do that for Caleb.
Kiss the Cook says, from the start with the Chiefs, Mahomes has 4 years left for his 10 years. I know, but I think that the question was 10 years from now. So he still will be around 10 years from now, is what is being said. I don't know what kind of shape he'll be in when he's 39. But Pickle D says, I'll take Josh Allen. He gets better every year, and I think that trend continues.
Well, it might continue, but the way Josh Allen plays the game, as physical as he is, I don't believe that 10 years from now he's going to be as effective as he is right now.
He might have to become a different kind of quarterback, but I think it's an adjustment he's capable of making.
Taco Kenny says, maybe my Raiders have a great turnaround next year. We have an awesome stadium. Dude, let's just not, no more not. Just decades ago, Taco Kenny, decades ago. Fifth letter says, any given Sunday, I'm taking the Skins. I think you mean Commandos. And the 9 points. They could easily upset Detroit. Let's see who game plans better. That's all it is. Long as Washington 11 on both sides show up along with the 11 on special teams, I can see an upset.
And it's also just kind of an interesting matchup because when the Commanders were looking for a coach, Ben Johnson was the guy they originally tried to hire. And Ben said, I'll stay in Detroit, try and finish this job. And they go with Dan Quinn instead. And now they run into the guy they tried to hire last year.
Yeah, Dan Quinn has to win this now. He has to.
It would be funnier that way.
All right, we got to take a break. We'll come back and we'll talk about all the other football games too. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Welcome to Staples.
I am so pumped. My business is going to kill it this year.
Awesome. How can I help?
First, a new computer.
With Staples home and office hot deals, you save big on tech.
And a new posters.
Save on custom printing too.
And
a new chair?
A chair. Who has time to sit?
Maybe all your new clients?
Now you're talking.
With Staples home and office hot deals, you'll find huge savings on custom prints, storage, chairs, and tech. And now save up to $175 off your print order. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Ends 2/1.
AZ Preps 365, your source for all the news, info, highlights, and more. Athlete news and interviews. Talk with coaches. Keep you up to date with the changes, moves, upcoming events, and more. AZ Preps 365, Arizona's ultimate prep sports show. If you miss a minute, you miss a lot. AZ Preps 365, Saturday mornings 8 till 10 on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off since I turned 40. I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T.
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text LION to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text LION to 42424. That's LION to 42424.
With all the school supplies your child will need over the years, it can be easy to overlook the most important one of all, money, which is a good reason to open an AZ 529 education savings plan. Whether you invest $15 or $150 a month, your money grows tax-free. By the time your little one is ready for college, vocational school, or workforce training, they'll have all the savings they need to get the job of their dreams. Visit az529.gov to get started.
This message is sponsored by the Office of the Arizona State Treasurer.
Your home for sports.
1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Jay Blender here on 1580. The Fanatic. Sir Drives a Lot says there is a lot of purple at the stadium. So the Rams wear a lot of times these white jerseys. You know what I'm saying? And maybe you might be mistaking a Rams fan for a Vikings fan.
Is it white or is it kind of? I think it's kind of off-white.
Yeah, but at a distance, you can't tell the difference.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Okay. All right.
Pickle D says that line looks like a premium teaser spot for the Mandos. What? Which line?
The Lions Commanders line, I think, opened at like 8.5 or something. So
yeah,
like while people think, maybe Washington doesn't win that game, could they cover the 8.5? Because it's not like Detroit's defense just magically got healthier. And the Commanders can score. So if you think that, hey, the Lions just have the firepower, they'll beat anybody, but they might give up enough points for that game to actually feel close, you might think about it.
Sir Drives a Lot says he just dropped off 2 Vikings fans. He says, I said purple, not white. Well, I thought maybe you're in the stadium kind of looking across. You see a white jersey with a little blue on it. You might mistake it for white and purple. So that's all. So, okay. So I guess outdoors he's seeing a lot of Vikings fans. Chief Skull says, don't you dare mistake a Rams fan for a Vikings fan. What? I mean, can't help but you mistake. That's the word, Chief Skull. Mistake. So, whatever. All right. So the Rams and the Vikings are going to play at State Farm Stadium. And, of course, Cardinals rolling out the welcome mat for them.
Well, I mean, not in every way.
In a lot of ways. I mean, they sent the team planes to pick them up and their families and their pets. That's great. And they're painting the Rams stuff on the field.
Yeah, I get that. I get that.
A little bit. Like if you were like really a big rivalry, that would probably rankle you. But
they're not using the Rams are not using the Cardinals locker room.
Oh, well,
the doors are locked, Jack.
What are they using?
Some other locker room.
Like
they're
a
not
cafeteria?
using. Maybe.
I know there's a visitor's locker room, but I know that they might have another facility for this sort of thing because there have been Super Bowls hosted there. So
yes, that's true.
So maybe there's just 2 visitors' locker rooms.
Maybe, but they're not going to be in the hallowed halls of the Cardinals locker room.
Well, what makes it hallowed? Nothing has really happened here that hallows anything.
The great bird of prey. Are you kidding me? The players on this team. That's hallowed halls. Hey, what kind of play? Calais Campbell was in that locker room.
Yeah,
hallowed halls, I tell you.
I don't think you're just being around hallows it.
Larry Fitzgerald and Kurt Warner.
Yeah, see? Hallowed halls.
Was that stadium around when Kurt was
Yes.
there? Yeah.
Hallowed halls.
Forgetting how old it is. Still not hallowed.
No,
maybe his
telling you,
locker. Maybe Kurt
No.
Warner's locker. That's it.
No. It's hallowed. Yeah, you
feel like
forget
it's not
Larry
hallowed.
Larry Fitzgerald, you forget about him?
Do you think it's hallowed, Keon? Would you hallow it?
Keon doesn't know. He's still stoned from the damn playoff game yesterday.
I am still reeling. I don't know what to think about that. They were chanting Jaden Daniels MVP chants in Tampa Bay. And I was like, really? Yeah. We travel now. That's wow. Okay. The fan base was always there. They just needed a reason, but I didn't expect that. I'll tell you that.
Okay, now just back to what I'm saying. There's no hallowing. There's no hallowing.
It's not. I don't think it's up to me to hallow.
It's not hallowed. It's up to me. It's not hallowed.
I'm telling you, it's hallowed.
It's up to, if you're the fan of that team, like, is that what makes your building special and
nothing is special till you win a Super Bowl.
Well, listen, we've been to a Super Bowl, but we didn't win it. But
nothing
that was back in Larry's day.
Or hallowed till you win a Super Bowl.
We didn't win the Super Bowl,
so
but
nothing is hallowed.
That was it. That was somewhere else. That wasn't in the great Silver Cactus, the great Bird's Nest. That wasn't at the great Silver Cactus. Are you kidding me?
There's no hallowed until you win a Super Bowl.
We agree to disagree.
I'm not agreeing to anything. No hallowed. The Jet says Cardinals rolled out the red carpet for the Rams because they wanted to see what it felt like to host a playoff game. Yada, yada, yada. Get a new joke.
Yeah, so it's only the fifth day in a row we've heard that. It's going all the way back to last week.
Ringless Joe says, Keon, good luck to your Commanders next week in Detroit and may the best team win. Says the Detroit Lions fan.
Same to you, though. I suspect it's you. It's your team.
Pretty good chance. So the game tonight is sold out, although Michael Bidwell was like, oh, there's Taylor Swift-like ticket demand. Not really. Nope. I was reading this thing Florio put out. He's like, the seats are out there. You can get them on StubHub for like $110, and using SeatGeek, you can get like a couple for $176. Taylor Swift tickets went for $20,000 for 4 tickets. Feel like Michael Bidwell's overstating things a bit.
A little bit. The Taylor Swift fans go into debt to go see her.
Nobody's going into debt for this game.
No.
Nobody.
No.
Except for people who decided to travel here from a distance. Those
and
people
even
might
then,
be going into some debt.
They might have had the money in the first place.
More than likely. Again, when we watch tonight, or if you're in the stadium, it'll be interesting to see what colors you see more. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to revert back to Sir Drives a Lot. Sir Drives a Lot dropped somebody off wearing purple jerseys. Saw a lot of purple jerseys there. I'm going to say the following, and I defy anybody to tell me I'm wrong. So, people from Minnesota.
You're wrong.
I defy you. Let me finish before you tell me I'm wrong.
All right.
People in Minnesota generally are on time for stuff. In fact, they're conscientiously very early. People from Los Angeles are a whole nother clock universe. The Rams fans will be later to the game than the Vikings fans. I defy you to tell me that is wrong thinking. If you're from LA or if you spent any time in LA, they're never on time. People from Minnesota, Midwesterners, are neurotic about making sure they're on time so much they will be early.
That's true.
Defy you to tell me I'm wrong.
I went to college in the South, but I had a group of friends from the Midwest and a group of friends from California. And all of my friends from California, including my first girlfriend, late, literally everywhere, all the time.
That is terrifying when your girlfriend says she's going to be late.
Well, that's a different.
I know, but just hearing the words got to make you look.
That nearly happened to. That's a different conversation. Wow. Terrifying, I tell you. Terrifying.
It's like, wow, I'm going to feel real bad pushing you down some stairs.
Oh no! What?
What?
What'd you say? I was just going to say scariest 15 days of my life. How did you get there?
I can only take so much money out of the ATM at a time. So,
oh boy. Oh no.
I got dark. So, anyways, that is my theory. And Sir Drives a Lot says, fair enough. He says, I will say this: Jaden is a superstar. Oh yeah, he's going to be. He's a superstar in the making. Bo Nix, I don't know, superstar, but he's a pretty competent player. He's developing nicely. Jaden, I'm going to call him McDaniels. Jaden McDaniels shows up, and he's already, firing all cylinders. Bo Nix is improving every time you see him play. And the game didn't go well for the Broncos, but Jesus, he's a rookie. And look where he's at. I mean, he's not as good as Jaden Daniels, but who knows where he'll be when he's fully developed.
And I think he's ahead of schedule even. I mean, to be a playoff quarterback this early is still something that's special. And I think that Bo Nix is somebody that when you're playing with Sean Payton, you're going to learn things about the game that you might not learn in another system. I think he's going to be great.
Fifth letter says, I'll be in the stadium rocking my USC and Laker gear. Just win, baby. Hell's wrong with you, fifth letter? Why are you going to be in the stadium wearing stuff that has nothing to do with the teams that are playing? You're a Raider fan. What are you doing? Just, who cares? You know what? Go ahead. Just do your thing. Big George says, I learned from watching the NFL games this weekend. Eli Manning always wanted to be a kicker, and Peyton talked him out of it. I don't think that's real.
They mentioned it very often.
Right, in real life?
No, I don't think that's true in real life.
Oh, that's what.
But that commercial ran about 16 billion and a half times.
Yeah, too many times.
Yeah.
Beer Bob says, wow, Jeffrey, didn't know you followed Herschel Walker's birth control plan. What? Yeah, some of these might be just dark jokes.
Oh, no.
Fifth letter says, representing Southern California, I won't be wearing no jersey, just either a Laker hat or USC hat. How about just don't? Just street clothes. Just maybe do this one. I mean, you do you, man. You do you. Silver Pops says, question for you guys. How do you feel about the reports the playoff format will be addressed in the offseason because of the seeding? All reporters were crying about the Vikings have to go on the road. Commandos were a 13-win team, and they went on the road. I don't know. Leave it alone. That's what I say. Me too. We'll talk about that later. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win, breakaway, pick six, three-point shot, underdog win, buzzer beater, shootout, walk-off, and absolutely every play in between is amazing. From football to basketball and hockey to baseball, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
Surprise! Your expenses this month were way higher than you expected. Also, you forgot to renew your website domain, and now you're in a bidding war.
You should see the look on your face.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Plus, the fridge died in the break room, and now everything smells weird.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Everybody's got a podcast these days. Comedy, politics, true crime, you name it. But how many actually teach you anything useful? Harman Solar has an entertaining podcast that is vital if you've been thinking about looking into solar, but you don't know where to start. Ralph and Ben explore the intricacies of utilities, equipment, processes, and more. Their primary objective is to educate and empower you to make informed decisions on your solar journey. So increase your knowledge, not your bills. Go check it out right now. It's the Harman Solar Podcast at harmansolar.com.
Do you know about 211 Arizona? It's a free service to connect you with resources anywhere in Arizona. Housing assistance and eviction prevention, transportation and ride services, healthcare benefits, food resources, and even utility bill support. Talk to a live operator in English or Spanish 24 hours a day, every day of the year. Just dial 211 or visit 211arizona.org. Get connected, get answers, and get the help you need. This message is sponsored by 211 Arizona.
Hi, guys. Jeffrey O'Brien here. Have you ever gone to harmansolar.com? Well, you really need to, because everything you ever wanted to know about how solar power can save you big on your monthly electric bill is right there. It's online. Through your phone or through your computer, you can learn about tax credits, the equipment they use, look at how they do things for businesses as well as homeowners, see testimonials from happy customers, and I hear they got a pretty good podcast, too. Check it out. Go to harmansolar.com. That's harmansolar.com.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K257CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240 EU Mountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down. Because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 4 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. And your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose celebrating in the control room there. Don't think about the Longhorns. He's celebrating. Don't think about what happened to Texas. It was bad. It was so goddamn bad. I mean, only think about the Commanders. No. Only think about the things and not the fact that your beloved Bevo just got butchered and made in the stakes for Ohio.
You get butchered. It just the game came down to the wire.
I told you not to dwell on it, Keon.
No,
Think only about your Washington Commandos.
Look, I'm not happy about what happened to the Longhorns, but also like I'm not broken up about it. First off, I've seen that team win a national championship in my life, so that's nice. And then, secondly, the game was close. It just the plays that needed to break that thing open for Texas, they weren't able to execute it.
I try to tell them not to think about it, Randy.
But the Commanders, that's the team I've never really seen be good. That means that win meant more to me than a Longhorns win would have there.
All right. Well, try to keep a stiff upper lip, even though you're clearly affected by this.
I'm not. I'm good.
What
man.
song is that?
That's the Commander's fight song.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's the good version.
Oh, yeah.
The version that sounds like an actual band and that
Are
everyone
they still using it?
Yeah.
They didn't just throw it away as soon as yeah. Okay. All right. Chief Skull says tonight's game 10,000 lakes versus no reservoir water. I don't know.
That's true.
That's cold.
Oh man.
Pickle D says the Sea Chickens losing in spectacular fashion in the Super Bowl there. That makes it hallowed ground. That makes it funny ground.
Yeah.
That makes it humorous ground.
Oh yeah.
The Jet says, Randy, it's not a silver cactus. It's a toaster.
No.
I've told you guys what it really looks like.
It's the silver cactus.
No. It looks like one of them plastic things used to go over that bolt at the bottom of the toilet. That's what it looks like. It looks like one of those things.
Silver cactus.
It's the white. It's not even silver. It's the white toilet bolt cover.
It's silver. It's silver.
Sheriff Tom says LA people will not show up until halftime. California is like 1 hour behind us now.
It is true. Whenever the
That's
Diamondbacks play the Dodgers there at Chavez Ravine, which will probably burn up. Anyway, it's about time that stadium burns to the ground. But listen, whenever you see a ball game from there, the crowd doesn't get there till the third or fourth inning.
Yeah. So Sheriff Tom ain't wrong. Ringless Joe says, is it just me or does Bo Nix look like he's a lot older than in his 20s? He looks like Tobey Maguire trying to attend high school in Spider-Man, or like Zac Efron. Oh, look, I'm 17 again. I don't know. He looked pretty young to me. You're asking the wrong old people. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's ask Keon. He's younger. Does Bo Nix look way too old to be what his age is? He looks young to me.
Need to look up how old is Bo Nix? I don't remember off the top of my head because he played college football for many, many, many years. He's 24. No, that he looks 24.
Yeah,
yeah.
I wouldn't argue. How old are you, Ringless Joe? He says it's an every game league, though Vegas odds aren't predictive of the scoreboard. Vegas had the Bucks winning. Commandos won 12 games and now a playoff game. I wouldn't count them out. And the Lions players won't count them out either. It's going to be a great game. Well, the Lions players don't count anything or anybody out, or else Dan Campbell will eat their face off.
Yeah.
So, no, they're coming.
And also, they bring guys into that building that think like Dan Campbell. Like the guys that are in there already agree. He didn't have to convince them.
No,
They're just like that.
This team is, they are, they use the term juggernaut. That's Detroit is a juggernaut. But
I will say that they're going to have like a fourth down duel going on next week because the Commanders like to go for it on fourth down.
Right.
And boy, neither do the Lions. So
watch Dan Campbell be like, haha, we're punting. Whoa, what the hell? And he completely throws Washington off guard. Last Optimist says, I was born in the Midwest. If you're 5 minutes early, you're 10 minutes late. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Kiss the Cook says, I swear I heard Keon's voice go up an octave when talking about being late. I bet little beads of sweat started popping out on his forehead. Oh, they would mine too. I mean, I'm not Midwesterner, but I always do my best to be on time. I'm not always on time, but I always try to be a little early.
Also, my dad was in the Army.
Well, see, there you go.
There's no words that made him angrier than, and we're running late. If he ever said that, like, you were just in trouble. You just know that whatever video game system you have, TV, whatever, it's gone. It's gone when you get home.
Yeah.
Ouch. Don't make him late.
Latina Leprechaun says, did Randy just say he wanted Dodger Stadium to burn to the ground by the wildfires? Yeah, well, not with anyone in it.
No, I don't want anybody hurt.
I'll second that motion. I hope the place burns to the ground too. It's nothing against people. This is just against the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Don't make a thing out of it. Taco Kenny says, now that's not nice, Randy. It's world champion Dodgers.
Well, I mean, I guess. How much did they pay to get that world championship? I just want to
so much money.
Is it 7.7 million or something?
They could have
don't remember.
fireproofed LA with that money.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Navy Devil says Bo Nix and Justin Herbert were in the same recruiting class. So Bo Nix spent a long time in college, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Bo Nix was in college long enough that they played against each other, I believe, as freshmen, and then Bo Nix got to transfer to Oregon to be an Oregon Duck quarterback, and Justin Herbert was that, and then became an NFL quarterback. So he was there. He was there a little bit.
Yeah. So here's the thing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. I mean, 24. He'll be 34 in 10 years. So, I mean, I don't know. He's not. We've seen guys stay in college way, way too long. And sure, they pack Bo Nix's bags for him, and they're like, "You really got to go." But
Michael Penix at Washington too. Like,
Yeah.
that's another guy that's played a lot of college football. But like sometimes that's your journey. You can genuinely be in college for 6 years if you go get a graduate degree and it makes sense. Like it's the guys that like Cam Rising. Go raise your family because that's where you're at. That's the stage of your life.
He's like,
that you're
I
in.
just want to stay in college long enough to play with my son. That's that's all I want. Pickle D says, "Burn in hell, Dodgers." Yeah, I mean, not the people, but the stadium can burn in hell.
Oh yeah.
Ringless Joe says Jordan Love is the most overpaid quarterback bust in decades. Slow that one down. If you want to say somebody's a bust, I don't know. Jordan Love is the direction I'd go.
Quarterback bust that makes the playoffs. I can't believe this.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I'm currently happy with Jaden Daniels, but the list of quarterbacks before him in my life, I don't want to hear that.
And
That's
enough
crazy.
with the Justin Herbert's a bust thing too. He's not a bust.
That doesn't make any sense. You
But,
can go to the playoffs and have bad playoff performances and not be a bust because you made the blanking playoffs.
My team didn't. Randy's team didn't.
No.
Ralph's team didn't.
It was more of a quarterback conversation.
Well, still, my quarterback doesn't exist. I don't have a quarterback. You have to squint to see Randy's quarterback.
Yeah.
And then Ralph's quarterback, Geno Smith, he looks like he just got home from work and he's yelling at kids to just knock it off because he's just trying to get a damn minute apiece, please. So let me cover some stuff real fast with the coaches and this stuff. They did hire Mike Vrabel to coach the Patriots. Perfect fit, if you ask me. It was either that or the Raiders. And so Mike Vrabel took a look around and says, nope, I'm going home. So he did. Mike McCarthy, it has been announced today, he will not return as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. He will be investigating and touring buffets before making any decision that would come next as far as where he might coach again. But yeah, I guess he didn't like the way he was being treated and said, I'm out of here. My contract is up. Deion Sanders has been saying that now, not publicly. Publicly, he says, oh, no, I'm staying in Colorado. But the word on the street is he's saying he wants that Raiders head coaching job because he wants to go there with his boys. But here's the thing. Raiders also reportedly have zero interest in Deion Sanders. So that ain't going to happen.
Like what? Why would you though? Like it just he's I think what he's done in college is he's done a good job at a program that largely doesn't win. Like the history of Colorado football recently, like in the last 15, 20 years, it's not good. He's done a lot there, but that doesn't mean you're qualified to be an NFL head coach. That's just a different beast entirely.
Yeah, and people I think are smart enough. So the Bears are looking at a college coach, not Deion Sanders. The Bears are just like, we're interviewing anyone and everyone. Randy's already had his interview. I refused the interview. But the Bears now, they're like, hey, you know who we want to interview? Marcus Freeman. Get him on the phone. Get him on a plane. Well, he's kind of busy right now getting ready for the, he's Notre Dame's head coach. So, he's trying to get ready for the, college football championship. But we'll take a message.
Give him a week.
And
least.
then, hey, guess what? Congratulations to you, Keon Rose. Cliff Kingsbury is going to stay with the Washington Commandos. He says, I'm content to wait until the Cardinals' money runs out.
First off, that's wise of him. And secondly, like this is a good fit for him. The talent on this roster, and specifically like the ways that he uses Jaden, outside of like the fact that I thought he was trying to get Jaden killed running him on Sunday. Outside of that, like it works. It's a good fit.
So
I don't want to make any actual decisions, but coach the offense.
Plan to grow Jaden Daniels beyond the simplistic of what he has in front of him right now. You see what I'm saying? Because old Cliff Kingsbury, he comes in with some simple stuff. He gets things going, and then the other teams go, okay, well, then I get this is the ceiling for how complicated he's going to be. And the defenses start to adjust to the Kyler Murray. You know what I'm saying? So how are you going to avoid that with Jaden Daniels? I mean, there has to be a point where your coach is going to be like, all right, it's time. Fire Cliff right now. Fire him right now. I don't just fire him. No, he's doing great. No, he's not. Fire him right now. This is the time limit.
I don't know about that, because like his thing is that you usually see it at the halfway point of a season where just like at some point, okay, this they have figured this out and he hasn't adjusted. And it did look like that was happening. They had that losing streak in the middle of the season. I think they lost 3 games in a row or something like that before they finally, got back on their feet and got rolling again. I do think that part of that is having a very solid and strong offensive staff to be able to help him out with his weakness of being able to fail to adjust. But the offense has gotten more complicated over the course of the season. It's interesting that the Commanders were able to play the Buccaneers in their first playoff game, because the very first game of the season was against the Buccaneers. And it wasn't close the first time. Tampa Bay just blew through Washington. I think that there is some growth there that's happening with Cliff, on at least on that front, and having like guys like Anthony Lynn, who I also think are good offensive coaches that should not ever be head coaches again. Like they're very it's a good staff, I think, that he's got helping him out there, and that's kind of how you keep it fresh and keep the quarterback development rolling.
Well, I guess we'll see what happens, but Cliff is yours for a while. Moist One says, from the fire pits of hell, it's time for Dodger baseball.
From the fire pits of
I
hell?
don't think Vin Scully is in hell.
I
boys.
don't think so either.
Yeah, he's in heaven. Come on.
Hefty Lefty says there was a BYU player last year that ran on the field with his son during parents' night or senior night. Can't remember which. That seems like the most BYU thing to do right there, isn't it? Well, yeah.
Yeah, but you can be a reasonable age in college and like have kids.
If you're running on a high school field with your kids.
Nah, well, that's a little.
Boogie says, have I ever mentioned that I really hate scrambling quarterbacks? Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels. Oh, they're both a bit scary in the playoffs. Luckily, they both have kneecaps that need to be bitten off.
I was wondering where you were going with that.
I think that's the scary part. Yeah. Mr. Pink Eye says, breaking news, Mexico sending replacement fans for the Rams to attend playoff game. Well, that's awfully kind of them. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we Ringless Joe says okay, hold on. What are you typing here, Ringless Joe? You just typed the same thing from earlier. I've already read that. Beer Bob says, Keon, aren't the Raiders also a college program that hasn't won in a very, very long time?
They haven't done a lot of winning in a while, but they're not a college program. Okay. For instance, if you put Max Crosby in college, that's not even fair. Why would they would never allow that? That could not possibly happen. They are not very well coached, and they are not a very well constructed roster. I think if you get the right general manager there, you can start to move in a good direction, which is why Tom Telesco no longer has that job.
Dr. Jones says prepping for a championship didn't stop Brian Kelly from an NFL interview. So glad we have Freeman now. Yeah, no, I mean, I hear you. But I got a feeling Freeman is probably not going to interview with the NFL. I feel like he's too new. He's too, you know what I'm saying? Do you think I'm wrong?
I don't know. I mean, it depends on what his ambitions are, because there are some guys that the NFL comes knocking and you're like, how many chances am I gonna get at this? am I going to have the same kind of season next year, the year after, where this happens? But I do think that as a Notre Dame guy, he seems like he's in there for the long haul. He wants to build something at Notre Dame that's really good and special. They love him out there. And I don't see him leaving for the NFL, because I just think that job right now is the best fit for him.
Big George says, I really liked hearing Jason Benetti and Mike Mayock doing the game last night on your station. Some good rapport between them two. Okay. Glad to help. I know who the guys are that are going to be calling the games this weekend, if that's a thing that anybody cares about. Who I enjoy on play-by-play on our station? You know who I enjoy? I have really enjoyed Mike Golick. Mike Golick is a color commentator. He's pretty chill, but I love hearing what he has to say about stuff.
Junior or senior?
Senior. Come on.
Junior's fun, but he's goofier and
just wanted
weirder.
to make sure. I just wanted to make sure, guys.
So, George, here's the cruise for this weekend. The first game is on Saturday, 2:30 p.m. We've got the Houston Texans at the Kansas City Chiefs with Kevin Harlan. He's the main voice there. He's got Ross Tucker alongside. And then, so the second game is going to be on Money Radio 1510, because we have a GCU game in the afternoon. So the Commanders and Lions games got Kevin Kugler and Mike Mayock. And then on Sunday, Ian Eagle and Charles Davis have the Eagles game, whoever they host, Minnesota or the Rams. And then Sunday night, you got Ryan Radke and Mike Golick doing the Ravens and Bills game. So there you go. You're the only one who probably cares, George, but there you go. Sir Drives a Lot says the Raiders have made boneheaded decisions regarding leadership for decades now. But yeah, you got something going on that you didn't before. Tom Brady in someone's ear saying, don't do that, do this. And so it might be interesting to see who you end up with. I ain't saying it's going to be the solution for everything, but if you've got somebody who knows something saying, okay, whoa, don't do that, to Captain Haircut over there, man, maybe you have a chance of something good happening for once.
Maybe. I mean, it just depends on which side of the legend spectrum Tom Brady falls on, because there are the legends who are great at seeing the talent in other people, and there are legends who are very bad at it. Larry Bird, great. Michael Jordan, drafted Kwame Brown, not good, not great at all at the evaluation side of things. So, we'll see which side of this Tom Brady's on, because he might be a great help. He might not be.
So, you do have some hope there, Sir Drives a Lot, but I don't know what it'll come to yet. We'll find out here shortly. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back and let's finally talk about the other games that happened over the weekend in the NFL. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
It's fall football on The Fanatic. Catch all the live game play-by-play, Monday night, Thursday night, and Sunday day and night NFL games, plus the Saturday NCAA football game of the week. It's all right here on the Valley's home for football. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
Let's say you've got questions. You're looking into solar, but you don't know where to start. Well, Harmon Solar has the answers. Hi, I'm Jeffrey O'Brien, and listen, there's a couple of ways you can go here. One, visit harmonsolar.com, browse around, because right across the page, they got links to all sorts of great information, like frequently asked questions, equipment, tax credits, even testimonials. Or just give them a call, 800-281-3189. Ask them directly. They'd love to hear from you. That's 800-281-3189. Or just go to harmonsolar.com.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money, because you're in charge. And right now, you're going to pay for groceries. But you decide what groceries. Just keep in mind you're running out of dishwashing soap. But you decide if you're going to buy that soap. Just those dishes won't clean themselves, will they? Remember, with Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T.
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text LION to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text LION to 42424. That's LION to 42424.
The Weekend Warriors are hosting a super duper Super Sunday pregame show.
And you're invited. Join us on February 9th from 9 to noon at the Spot Neighborhood Grill in Glendale.
Of course, we'll talk about the upcoming big game.
We'll have special guests and great audience giveaways.
And you'll get to meet me in person.
They'll get to meet all of us in person.
Yeah, but I'm the best looking one of the bunch.
Anyways, join us as we broadcast live from the Spot Neighborhood Grill on Bell Road in Glendale.
February 9th from 9 to noon before the big game.
Right here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Today, Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Chosen One says, good afternoon, gentlemen. Heading to see my Vikings beat Ralph's Rams. Skull, he says. Hey, by the way, Keon, can you text Ralph and see if he's ready to be called yet? Well, you're going to call Ralph and see what he sees. Although, do we really trust what he sees?
Yeah.
Do we?
He doesn't lie about what he sees.
Yeah. I don't even know how good his eyesight is, to be honest. He's substantially older than me.
When he wears his glasses, it's much better.
Yeah, I'll find out. Ringless Joe says Patrick and SpongeBob are better NFL commentators than Romo and Brady. That's really SpongeBob and Patrick commentated on the Chargers versus the Texans game. You know what? I was sitting there and I've started doing the same thing with Brady that I do with Romo. Please stop. Please stop. I was saying it out loud to my TV. Please stop, Tom. Please stop. So awkward. He was awful. He was
so
bad.
Particularly awful. Dylan was actually telling me because I didn't have the sound on where I was watching the game.
Smart.
But he called the Eagles the Phillies a bunch of times. He called Josh Jacobs Brandon Jacobs at one point, who is no longer in the league and hasn't been for a long time and played for the Giants. I like there's no connection there. He was like worse than usual.
You're not lying. I heard the whole thing. Ugh. Latina Leprechaun says, well, I know where I'm not going to be on Super Bowl Sunday from 9 until noon. Well, that's not. Well,
Why wouldn't you be there?
Don't be so mean.
Why wouldn't you be there?
Well, I think because Ralph is going to be there.
But it's your opportunity to face him off, face to face.
I'm probably going to make an appearance on that show. I've never been on, I don't know what they call that show. Sunday morning. The football smack around, whatever.
Weekend Warriors football.
It's on the west side, isn't it?
I'm going to try to. I'll either be on remotely or I'll come hang out. I don't know yet.
I'm thinking about going and hanging out.
You go and I'll just do this from home.
Just to make them feel a little awkward.
Where you just sit there and stare at them, refuse to be on the mic.
Exactly.
Just stare at them.
Yeah. Hey, Randy, why don't you come up here and I'll just stare at him. No comment.
Just shake your head. Like they've done something.
Right.
That's actually pretty. I should
and
join
I
you
keep
for that.
taking notes. I'll keep taking notes. They won't know what the notes are.
I might actually come along with you. Random texter says, Jeffrey, do you really think you want to know what Ralph might be looking at? No.
Easy now.
Probably not. But we have specific questions. Neho says, we're parking right now. Report forthcoming. The hell is Neho?
That's Neil.
Did we say we wanted to talk to him? I don't think we said we wanted to talk to him.
If Neil's not driving, then he's the one that's got to
You
text.
know he's
because I texted
driving
Ralph,
and
so
texting.
maybe Ralph was like, "Hey, you text in the show and let him know."
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that Neil is driving because he has handicap plates, so they can get closer to the stadium.
Can't be driving and texting right now.
From listening to him talk, he might even have a handicap driver, just in a van. Just saying. Ringless Joe says, did you guys hear what Shannon Sharp and his guest said about Zion Williamson? Shannon's guest said, like, I've seen him in person. I'm like, damn, dog, big alligator, man. You got to get him out that water, bro. He's over there eating up everything. Why are you telling me this? What is this?
Yeah, I don't know what this has to do with anything.
God damn it, Ringless Joe. You were doing so well till just right then. Don't care about Zion Williamson right now.
Of all the times to be like deviate from the show when you were texting about your Lions, that's one thing. I mean, still a little too soon, but at least I get that. Zion, what does that have to do with anything?
0%. Hefty Lefty says Brandon Jacobs was a beast for a few years. That's a fun jog of the memory banks. Thanks, Tom Brady. Moist One says Neil is a passenger princess. Oh, Slow Mo Zo says, don't forget, Randy, Daytona 500 comes on at 11.
That's in February.
Yeah, Slow Mo Zo. What are you talking about? Are you doing your best Ringless Joe impersonation right now? It's very strange.
It's working.
All right, let's talk about the games. The Texans beat the Chargers 32-12. I'll tell you what. No, he's not a bust, but Herbert, those interceptions, what happened there? That is so not like him.
More interceptions in that game than he threw all year.
Right. So what the hell? What happened? Was the moment too big for him? Justin Herbert, that's just not his thing. I mean, in general, he was 14 of 32, 242 yards, 1 touchdown, but 4 picks. What the hell?
I give the Texans defense a lot of credit. And
they were good.
The Chargers have some limitations that they now need to address in this offseason. They cannot, for a team that loves to run the football against a great defensive front. They have no options. I actually thought Greg Roman might try and get Justin Herbert and his legs involved in the game, maybe have some design quarterback runs. He didn't need to go out there and be Lamar Jackson, just run enough to keep the pass rush from teeing off on him. That didn't happen. Greg Roman did not involve that in the game plan at all. It wasn't a factor, which I just think is kind of crazy. 50 yards rushing on the ground for the Chargers, that's a big problem. And then the receiving options were Ladd McConkey and a bunch of dudes, which is worse.
You just double Ladd McConkey, and now all of a sudden your passing game is done.
And McConkey still went off, but it's just like there's a big gap between McConkey and then the 16 yards that Will Disley managed to get. And that was the second best receiver in the game. Like, there's just, football, we still call it the ultimate team game. You have to have a quarterback. It's still very important. But if your quarterback's out there on an island with receivers that can't separate, an offensive line that's just okay, and then a running game that doesn't work, a pass rush like the Houston Texans is going to go to work and beat up your quarterback. And that's exactly what happened.
So Last Optimist says Herbert played like he had a concussion. He always looks like that. That's just how he looks. That's his normal look. He always looks, I used to say that Jared Goff had perpetual sleepy boy face. Like he just woke up, he stumbled into the yard in his pajamas, but Herbert's got a bit of that too. But I think that, listen, whatever the reason, what got in Justin Herbert's head, whatever the situation, it was just the Texans defense that just had him rattled, and they're so good. I feel like it's Jim Harbaugh's fault because of a gift he gave people. He gave everybody a gift in week 18. He's everybody got back to their locker, and waiting there for them was a personalized back scratcher.
That's really cool. After a long season, got
a back scratcher.
Got one right here.
He said, "Here's what he says. He's like, you need to have your own back sometimes." He said, you need to count on yourself. Make sure you get done what you need to get done. There's not always going to be somebody there to scratch your back for you. So you got to do it yourself.
That sounds like Jim.
What the hell are you doing, dude? First off, there's no cheaper gift than a back scratcher. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's just
I
lame.
don't know. Randy got me a back scratcher for Christmas, not last
Yeah.
year.
No,
but the
no,
year
no.
before.
Yours was metallic and it was on
and it extends.
Right.
Oh
he
my
gave me
God.
one too.
Oh,
that no.
No, that is one of the 10
No,
most
no.
useful things in my house.
Jim Harbaugh gave him one. Show that
Easily.
again, Randy. Show the one you've got right there. This is the kind that he gave.
Ah, there
Just-
it is.
I'm saying,
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying
Lame.
any back scratcher.
Yeah, baby. Oh,
You got to really.
I feel like, well, okay, you guys are, I guess, a good
but like,
audience for a back
if
scratcher.
you're saying like, oh, you know, you could drop a gift for thousands,
yeah.
but he's Jim Harbaugh. He couldn't
Jim-
just
Jim-
give you a thing.
Jim
He had
Harbaugh
to-
gave me a back scratcher, but look who old Brock Purdy gave his guys cars.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks, Jim.
The quarterback
Yeah.
ought to give you something else. The coach, Jim, wasn't doing that just to give guys gifts. He was doing that so he could say the corny coaching thing he just said.
Scratch your own back.
Exactly.
Find a wall.
And he's always
Do it
been
on
like
a tree
that.
like a bear.
Well,
oh crap, we're the Chargers. Oh, forget I said about the wall and the bear.
Yeah, no, he's just like that. I think that there's nothing wrong with that. I
It's
think,
no surprise they lost the very next game.
I think what really
After
happened
that-
was you couldn't run the football, and the Texans and that pass rush and Will Anderson pinned their ears back and teed off on your quarterback all day until he threw 4 interceptions. I think that's what happened.
I love the I got it right here. The back scratcher that Randy gave me if I ever need it. Telescope it. Done. There you go.
there it
But
is.
that's just pal to pal. But if the coach gave me this, I'd be like, I'll be like, thanks. To the minute you look away, I'm throwing this away. The minute you look away, this is going in the
Wow.
trash.
Wow.
That's a little ungrateful. Someone gave you a gift just because it doesn't cost thousands upon thousands. Oh no,
No,
he
I
didn't
hate
buy
the
me a
corniness
truck.
of it. No,
So
the corniness that's attached to it makes it where I can't ever
Look,
look at it again.
Just know
Ah.
that if Jim Harbaugh is your coach, I'm sorry, that's not the only one that's going to happen many times. That's not the only time that's ever going
You
to happen.
mean
to
there's going to be another back scratcher incident?
No, I think there's going to be
You know-
another gift with a corny lesson attached to it, like he's some kind of youth pastor.
I'll leave it in my locker, and when I leave the team, I will leave it behind for the next guy.
Because
I just don't like
somebody's got to
corny.
have your
I don't
own
like
back.
contrived. I don't like the. Ugh. I just don't like Jim Harbaugh. Maybe that's it.
Could be. Yeah.
I mean, you know,
Right.
you guys would love to play for him because he gives out back scratchers. Whatever.
Well-
Hamilton Porter says.
I would not actually.
So, do we think Sam Darnold was factory reset, or did he just have a bad game? We're gonna find out tonight.
Yeah, I would say a guy that plays a 17 game season and
Mm-hmm.
most of the games he was good. I'm willing to bet that he's good more often than he's not good.
But you got to catch what he said. Was he factory reset and then he's back to his old self, or is he just shaking it off and he's going to be, oh, I'm good Sam Darnold again? Because here's the thing. Once some stuff gets in your head, it could be the yippies of a factory reset.
Well, the thing is, the last time Sam Darnold had a terrible game, it was actually against these same Rams. He bounced back just fine. He was fine. Like, you have bad games. Those happen.
The random texter thinks Justin Herbert has reservations in Cabo for Sunday at noon. Yeah, maybe.
That's too bad if he does. I mean, if he's not 110% locked on for this game,
Ralph
if the
says he's ready.
Vikings go out there and they crap the bed today, I mean, for what is it all worth then?
What?
I said Ralph says he's ready.
Oh, I thought. What are you talking about, Randy?
If the Vikings go out there and crap the bed tonight, what was it? What was this season all worth? What was it all about? If the Vikings don't win, that just kind of proves something to you.
It does. It's Donnie's fault.
I wasn't gonna. Well, okay.
Ralph sent me a picture. There's a lot of purple walking into that building.
All right.
I don't know what the view is
again,
from inside.
Until you see it from the inside and see who's seated. And remember, the game doesn't start for another hour and a half. And my assessment that Ram fans are probably going to be running later. So, we'll find out now. Whatever he says now, that's what it is. And then what maybe we see later with our own eyeballs when we watch the game. I believe it's on the ESPN, right? Yeah, I think it's on the ESPN.
It's on the ESPN, I believe.
Ringless Show says Chargers are up 6-0. Then the Nickelodeon broadcast played an animation of Jim Harbaugh getting abducted by a bubble off the field. And right after that happened, Texans went on a 32-7 run. A bubble cost the Chargers their season. The hell are you watching the Nickelodeon broadcast for, Joe? How old are you? Well, if he's ready, is he on the phone? Do you have him on the phone? Well, I guess he's not ready if he's not actually on the phone.
Not on the phone.
Yeah. T-Licious says the real Texans showed up because of my guy, D'Amico Ryans.
Give me a second. Ralph said, he said, you want me to call you? And I was like, yeah. And then my phone rang and not the station phone. I was like, no.
Bless his heart.
Okay, hold on.
He's new at this. Moist one says, I pay hundreds for a good hour-long back scratching session. Yeah, I don't think that's what that is.
Moist one. Stop it.
Don't think that's what it is. Speaking of Nickelodeon, on the broadcast, I guess they were talking to Joe Mixon after the win, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, he swore. What do you think is going to happen when you put a microphone in front of professional athletes after a hyped up win? Now, it was low-grade swearing. He just says, it's just a hell of a feeling. Then he said, them boys up front, receivers, tight ends, they all played their asses off today. All right, so that's not too bad. I mean,
those kids hear that at the school all the time.
Oh, hell, you bet your ass they do.
Yeah.
Especially if their parents drive them and they hear this stupid show.
All right. Ralph Romano has landed.
Hey, great, folks. It's
Ralph.
time for a break.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't hear the crowd.
I'm kind of outside the stadium right now.
Well, I don't want to talk to you outside the stadium. I want to talk to you inside.
You want to hear this.
No, I don't. What are you talking about?
Sure you do.
What am I hearing?
I would say the mix right now, you got about 80% Vikings fans right now, 80-20.
Yeah, but you're outside and it's still
I'm
early.
walking in right now.
Okay, so here's what I want is
Whatever you want, Jeffrey, because I heard you talk so nice about Neil. Go ahead.
Half an hour. By the way, you guys are parked right up front in the handicap spaces, right?
Yeah, because Neil has place. So yeah.
I knew it. We're gonna call you at like 5:15. Okay, you'll be at your seat by then, right? Unless you have to help Neil in the bathroom.
I'm good.
Okay.
Help Neil with his catheter.
That's right.
I brought my diapers. Go ahead.
You got to replace the bag. So
stop.
Get to your seats, and then we'll take a good look and see. But here's what we were talking about. I'm sure you heard. I think that at first it's going to be a lot of purple. It's going to be a lot of Vikings fans, but then the Ram fans are going to start coming in later. They will be coming in at the beginning of the first quarter, and you can't really have a proper assessment of this until like starting the second quarter. You know what I'm saying? Okay. You know your people. You know how it is. You're only there on time yourself because Neil was there. Neil was the reason you got there on time.
No, it was all me.
Yeah.
I actually do believe that.
Nobody believes
Neil, I believe that. Yeah.
Neil's from the Midwest. Anyway, so we'll check in with you in about 20 minutes. All right.
Sounds good.
Okay. Get off my phone. 888-368-1580. Ringlish Joe says, I figured there'd be more Rams fans in Arizona than Vikings fans because Arizona is known for having an influx of Californians. Yeah, I think you'll see that. I think ultimately you'll see that. I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. We'll have to, the eyeballs will tell you once you turn on the telly. Latina Leprechaun says Ralph parks in handicap spots when he's not even handicapped. That's sickening. Oh, no, you don't understand. Neil is. All right. Is there anything that anybody wants to say about the Texans and Chargers game?
I mean, just the Chargers are so much more limited than I thought they were.
Well, but let's look at the Texans. Texans are going to get mowed down pretty quick. They got a good defense, but let's be honest, that offense is not as good as what you saw against the Chargers. That offense is going to get real bogged down by the next team.
Well, yeah, and obviously it also helps to play with the lead as well. But, when you talk about the Texans and their big weakness, it's against scrambling quarterbacks. I thought they were going to move Herbert out of the pocket a little bit more to take advantage of that. They did not do it. The Chiefs absolutely will, whether it's something they've schemed in or not. Patrick Mahomes will not be contained to the pocket, and I think that's going to be trouble for the Texans.
Yeah, here's what you're going to have. Chiefs and Texans. Chiefs, great defense. Texans, great defense. Chiefs, just epic offense when needed. Texans, not quite as many tools as the Chiefs. So the Chiefs it'll be defense to defense, but in the end, the Chiefs will, overtake them, I think, with offense. Moise one says, speaking of Neil and Ralph in the bathroom, is Ariana Grande okay?
What does that mean?
I don't get it. Somebody out there gets it. I don't get it.
Okay.
Let's take a break. We come back. We'll talk about Ravens and Steelers and whoever else. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money because you're in charge. And right now, you're going to pay for groceries. But you decide what groceries. Just keep in mind you're running out of dishwashing soap. But you decide if you're going to buy that soap. Just those dishes won't clean themselves, will they? Remember, with Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T.
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text LION to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text LION to 42424. That's LION to 42424.
All right, so there we were, cruising through the new open air zoo when I realized that the park was closing in like 15 minutes. That's when the afternoon took an exciting turn. Luckily, we were in my Nissan Rogue. With its powerful DC turbo engine, well, we had more than enough time to see all the animals. Whoa! And outrun a few.
Drive the Nissan Rogue. Now, Nissan offers 6 vehicles starting under $30,000 MSRP. Shop at your local Nissan store or at nissanusa.com. 2024 Nissan Altima, Kicks, Leaf, Rogue, Sentra, and Versa. All prices are manufacturer's suggested retail price. Manufacturer's suggested retail price excludes destination and handling charges, tax, title, license, and options. Dealer sets actual prices.
Screen time's over.
Be home by 11?
Put your phone down while we're eating.
When parents set boundaries, keep track of where their kids go, and talk to them about the dangers of underage drinking and drugs, they keep their kids safe. Visit TalkNowAZ.com. Be the influence. Talk early. Talk often. Talk now.
Thanks. Thank you.
Muchas gracias.
This message is sponsored by the Substance Abuse Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Arizona's new home for sports.
Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. All right, let's see here. We're running out of time. We now have 45 minutes until the Westwood One program of not Monday Night Football, but Monday Night Football of Rams and Vikings take place from State Farm Stadium. Slow-Mo Zoe says maybe Jim Harbaugh is trying to be like Phil Jackson.
In what way?
Phil Jackson was cool and he was deep and he was like, he actually read books. I don't think that's Jim Harbaugh.
They call Phil Jackson the Zen master. And like he also was one-on-one with players trying to get into their psychology. Jim's a rah-rah guy. He look, it works when you're winning. When you win, that stuff, guys don't mind that it's a little corny. When you're losing, though, that's when people turn on you, but he just doesn't lose very much.
Well, he did this weekend.
Sure.
Scratch Me Because says
first season on the job. That's not that's not bad run at all.
Scratching Because says, I'm guessing the nature of Neil's handicap is Ralph. You're probably right. Okay, so let's talk now about the Ravens making short business of the Steelers, 28-14. Told you got Derrick Henry, you got Lamar Jackson, and the Steelers. Well, they have no, they don't have that, and they have Mike Tomlin, who seems cursed. Can't seem to win the playoff game to save his life. And even he was like, this jinx thing, this whole not winning thing, he says this whole, playoff losing streak, he says it's my bag. It's not the team's bag. It's not this team's issue.
I mean, he can say that, but like Najee Harris didn't do anything in the game. They couldn't run the ball. The Ravens are the better team. That's not a jinx. It's not bad luck. One team had a great roster. The other one did not have that. And that's what it looked like. The Ravens beat them in the most disrespectful way. They could have absolutely done it. They just ran power at them all game. Mm-hmm. Just didn't even bother to really throw the ball.
Hardly ever threw the ball. But then people are saying, and I heard it on actual broadcast, I think it was it Collinsworth even? It was like, you might see a trade between the Steelers and what was the Cowboys, saying that Mike Tomlin would go to the Cowboys, Mike McCarthy would go to the Steelers, and it's like, hey, what'd we give up? A coach that can't get us in the playoffs. But what'd you get? Oh, guy did win a Super Bowl, but then again, so did Mike Tomlin. Well, he can't get in the playoffs lately either. The same guy. You basically,
it's not the same guy, and it's not the same guy.
As far as if you want to talk about, being jinxed, if you want to talk about streaks, it's the same guy. You're giving up the same for the same. If you're going to trade, don't get this like the same kind of thing. I mean, Mike Tomlin is a coach I would rather have a million times over than Mike McCarthy, but they've both done the same thing. They both won the Super Bowl.
Situations are differently. One guy
long times without a playoff win. It's like they both have the same streak. So don't give up the same streak for another same streak.
To me, that's such a not. I
want fresh blood. I want.
There's a lack of nuance in how you look at that, though, because Tomlin and McCarthy don't have the same thing.
Not everything has to have nuance.
When it comes to if you're going to have an entire NFL coach to try and do something with your roster, it might actually have some nuance. It needs to, I think. You have to take a look at the fact that Mike Tomlin is the only reason that he's continued to be employed is that for some reason, no matter how bad his teams are, no matter if Mason Rudolph is the damn quarterback, he seems to have a winning record all the time. Mike McCarthy got fired from Green Bay because he could not do that, and then got to Dallas and was just an okay guy. There's a gap in the resume of Mike McCarthy. They're not the same guy. And also, Mike McCarthy's managed to do all of this with a better quarterback than Mike Tomlin has had since Roethlisberger. Like, it's just like, what are we doing? They're not the same guy.
Hold on a second. I need it. Are you high, Missling Gerbil? He says, any tickets for tonight's game? No. Sorry, go ahead.
Like it's just not the same thing. McCarthy and Tomlin,
not literally the same.
Even their resumes don't put it up together because if
situationally,
if you and I apply for a job and then you had a Mike McCarthy gap in your resume, they're probably going to hire me just out of you got fired in that time span. Like that's one reason why you're not as successful.
Never been fired.
Yeah, I know. I'm just as an example.
Been fired. You guys have both been fired.
I'm saying if you had Mike McCarthy's resume,
petty, I will fire you at some point.
You would have been fired.
I'm been fired. Make sure you have it on your record.
I got fired 3 times by the same guy because he's kind of crazy.
Well, it'll be 4 when I'm done.
So
just telling me my thoughts aren't nuanced. How dare you?
Well, you just said you didn't need it.
I don't need it.
Okay, well, by your own admission, they weren't.
Yeah, but how dare you say it? Ringless Joe says Tomlin is just bad. Oh, you're high.
Just on drugs, all of them.
Remember the playoff game he lost, and when he got asked why he didn't use his timeouts, he says, I was waiting to use them until I got the ball back. Well, he got the ball back with 15 seconds on the clock. Okay.
Yeah, so it's discretion. You know, you need them, but like if you don't have them when you get the ball back, you're just as screwed. It's just, I don't know. Judgment call. Was it a bad call? Maybe. Coaches are allowed to have those and still be good coaches.
Number one Rattler fan says, who was the last NFL coach to be traded to another team? John Gruden, Raiders to the Buccaneers. Devilhawk says, you have tickets to tonight's game. I want them tickets. All right. So listen for your chance to win at 5:35. We'll be giving away the tickets at 5:35 p.m. Just be the 100th caller.
You know somebody's going to be calling at 5:35.
There are no tickets.
I'm looking forward
dummies.
to seeing the phones light up.
They probably will.
I'll have a nice little chuckle.
So the Ravens, just literally ran over.
Oh, yeah. Just 300 yards on the ground.
Randy literally ran himself over with his wife's car over the weekend.
I did that. Yeah, this past weekend.
The Ravens literally ran, and I hate when people say it, but this applies. They literally ran over the Steelers with Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry just 186 yards, 26 carries. My God, they're like, we're not. Do whatever you want with your defense. We're running it. They're just shouting. Like, don't even try to steal the side. Nobody had a thing in front of their mouth. They're like, we're running it. So the guys on the other side could see what would happen.
I mean, the Derrick Henry touchdown where he goes right through the middle of the offensive line and then accelerates past a bunch of Steelers. Like, I don't think they realized that he still had that gear because everyone goes, 30-year-old running back. Maybe he doesn't have it. Nah, Derrick Henry's still the king. He's still got it.
30-year-old running back. The Ravens is a team, 299 rushing yards. That is the most that you've seen in a playoff game in 12 years. And now that was, last time 12 years ago, 323 by the Niners, January 12th, 2013, when Jim Harbaugh was the coach of the Niners. So just saying, this has been a hell of a rushing year for the Ravens as a team, and look for that strategy to continue. So Saquon Barkley, where's my stuff? My papers are out of order. I shouldn't be talking about Saquon Barkley yet. Wait, I'm still talking about the Steelers. Oh, George Pickens is not happy. Remember
what else is new?
Well, yeah, when was this? Christmas. I think it was Christmas Day. He ran up behind Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes and said, "Come get me," while they were getting the post-game interview after the Chiefs beat the Steelers. Well, I mean, after you do that on TV, shouldn't they just fire you? You're like, "Come get me." He wants the Chiefs to come get him. Well, because what we need is another cancer in our locker room. Okay, why not? So they asked him after, they said, "Hey, are you optimistic about your offense going forward?" He's like, "Nah." He's like, "Nah."
Boy,
nah.
the Steelers know how to pick them. They find guys that cannot fit into their culture at that specific position all the time.
Wow.
Whether, Juju or Antonio Brown or I guess now George Pickens. It just because you can't say that, man. You just can't say that. You might feel that way. You might say that on a podcast maybe a couple of months from now. Don't say that right after the game.
So Captain Cringe also found a microphone after the of George Pickens. Russell Wilson's like, "Oh, I really hope I get to stay here." He's just like, he wants to keep playing. He wants to come back to the Steelers. I don't know if he's coming back to the Steelers.
Maybe not, but I don't know how much better the Steelers can do. Because again, it's just hard to, when you're one of these teams that's not so bad, you're picking in the top 3 of the draft. You're not going to get that franchise quarterback drafting that way. And
they got him for $1.2 million because the Broncos had to pay him the other 39. So now here you come, and it's time. Like, well, we better figure out a new deal here. They're like, we might want to spend our money somewhere else because now we have to spend actual money. So maybe he's not your first choice when you actually have to pony up the cash.
Sure. What are your other options?
I was just going to say,
Randy's available. Randy's available.
I'm available.
Might be cheaper, but you're not winning as many games.
Wow, that is just
I don't-
really.
that is
Why
just
would you
hurtful.
say that?
Why?
That's
Why
just
is
you
it
didn't
so-
even give him a chance.
I am
You've
also
never seen him even throw a ball.
I am
man.
also available. I will also help you not win as many games because
wow,
being
So
an
you
NFL
just-
quarterback is hard. Actually,
going to try to steal away your dream, Randy. He's
Mm-hmm.
going to steal away your dream.
I know. I can't believe it.
I guess there's competition in the quarterback room here.
Yep.
I don't know what that means.
Prepare for war, Keon. Prepare for war.
Just remember, Keon, you brought this on yourself.
Like I gave up my quarterback dreams a long time ago, so I don't know what competition's happening here.
All right, so we're running out of time in this hour, but I got to get my papers all in order. They're all out of order. It's just completely out of order.
Happens
It's
sometimes.
terrible. Charlie Boy says, "Hey guys, I'm at the game now, and as I speak, I wish this was a Cardinals playoff game." Okay, he sent me a picture. By the way, Charlie, don't take pictures while you're dancing. It's very blurry.
Oh, yeah.
I can't see anything. It's and it's not a very full house yet, except for Ralph is probably probably in the picture here somewhere. He's
Yeah,
never
but-
looked better. But yeah, those aren't that's pretty good view you got right there. It's not a bad seats, man. Congratulations, Charlie Boy. And yeah, we all wish it was a different matchup, but that's life. Okay, that's just life. All right, we come back. We'll have a half an hour. We'll check in with Ralph at the stadium, and we'll see what's what. It's a Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Sports betting apps are not created equal. Dylan Cohen from Beat the Book here to talk about the Sport Trade Advantage. With higher payouts, Sport Trade is the ultimate sports betting experience. Sport Trade is the first sports betting app that gives you the option to see the odds expressed as probabilities, and it's changing in-game betting forever. If it's easier to understand 52% probability of winning versus minus 108 odds, then Sport Trade is for you. With this percent odds feature, cashing out now makes much more sense. As the win probability changes, so does the value of your bet. And if you're an experienced bettor and prefer American odds, you'll get pricing closer to minus 106 versus the normal minus 110, coupled with instant in-play betting. No more spinny wheels. So download Sport Trade today to see the difference and beat the book. Use promo code 1580 to earn 10% cash back on every bet you place in your first week. Terms apply.
Sport Trade is regulated by the Arizona Department of Gaming. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
Ever have one of those days where your gut just feels blah?
Ugh, yes.
Occasional bloating or gas could be signs that your gut is out of balance, but Align Probiotic can help. Align 24/7 Digestive Support is a daily use probiotic with a unique strain to help relieve occasional digestive issues. It's the #1 doctor recommended brand. So when you feel the signs, it's time to try Align. Align Probiotic. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
You okay?
I can't sleep with this cough.
Sounds like you need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize.
Yeah, with NyQuil VapoCool. It's NyQuil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
So you ready to get some sleep? Thank you, NyQuil VapoCool.
NyQuil VapoCool, the vaporizing nighttime coughing, aching, fever, best sleep with a cold medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Hey everybody, it's Mark Asher back to tell you about my great friends at the Lund Mortgage Team. Did you know that the Lund Mortgage Team was founded back in 1999? That's right, they're celebrating 25 years in existence this year. And you know what you have to do to stay in business that long? You have to be good at what you do. And the Lund Mortgage Team is not just good, they are great. They have helped thousands of people save thousands of dollars over those 25 years here in the Valley of the Sun. They only lend in Arizona. And they're mortgage brokers, which means they can shop your rate around. They're not tied to just one set of rates. Mortgage rates can get crazy. They can get high. They can get low. There's good times to strike and there's times to stay on the sideline. Let the Lund Mortgage Team be your coach, be your team leader when it comes to these huge decisions. Call 623-875-9940. That's 623-875-9940, or you can always check them out at lundmortgage.com. Great website with all the tools you need. Call them today. They're my great friends, and you'll love them. It's the Lund Mortgage Team.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K257CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240 EU Mountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's time for the third hour
I'll settle down because it's time.
For what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 5 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. And your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harman Solar Studios in Scottsdale. And so Ralph has sent me a bunch of pictures, some really good pictures. And yes, my assessment looks absolutely right. And here's why I'm going to say that. Now, as he's walking in, 90%, probably higher than 90% Vikings fans. It's a couple of Rams fans here and there. Then he got inside the stadium, took some pictures, and as I scrolled through, I noticed a couple of different things. Hardly anybody's even there yet. So most of the people who are there are Vikings fans, but there's so many empty seats. You know what that means. Rams fans are on the way. So I don't know who's going to have bigger crowd yet, just based on these pictures. But I do know one thing. Boy, the Cardinals have gone all out. They painted the field for the Los Angeles Rams. And to make sure people from Los Angeles feel at home, those casitas in the end zone, they've been burnt to the ground. So, no, you'll see it. It's right there.
Oh.
Oh my God. I warned you.
You did. You did.
So
not as prepared as I thought, but I was warned. I was certainly warned.
You can't do that to me, man. I've got bruised ribs. You can't do that to me.
Yeah, somebody who's from out of town tuning in is like, oh my God.
Oh man.
And guess where they would be from?
Just another Monday for everyone here on the show.
Oh man, holy cow.
You can go ahead and call and try to get me fired. Good luck with that. 888-368-1580. Ringless Joe says, here's my prediction for the game. Vikings line up for an easy game-winning field goal from inside the red zone. Time expiring on the clock. The commentator will say, and if this kick is good, it'll send the Vikings to play against the Eagles. Snaps coming, and the kick is no good. Knowing how unlucky the Vikings are, it'll end exactly like that.
Oh, if the Vikings have to have a kick on the line to go anywhere, that's just where's my in-game sports betting app so I can bet Rams in that exact moment, because it's not happening.
Have that ready. So Rams and Vikings, it'll be on our radio station here in 27 minutes.
So you're saying that if the Vikings set up for a game-winning field goal, it'll sound something like this.
Joseph, come on!
It's so good.
He missed it.
I forgot that happened. I was at that game too. Crazy. You see this wave of purple screaming and then silence.
What do you even do with that rage? I don't even know. That silent rage.
You could hear a pin drop.
Joseph, come on!
What the?
Oh my God!
I don't know
Eat
what
your
to
heart
expect.
out, Donnie. Eat your heart out.
I mean, I got the Rams. I'm sorry, I got the Chargers losing to the Texans. I got that one wrong. And then I got Buccaneers losing to the Commanders wrong. So I don't even know if that's going to happen tonight. But I got Vikings winning this game tonight.
I do too.
I don't feel good about it. I don't feel good about any of this.
Matthew Stafford, a couple of weeks of rest. Feels I feel like this is going to be a high-flying shootout, and I hope they don't line up for a field goal. That's all I have to say for the Vikings. I hope the Vikings don't have to line up for a field goal.
I was thinking about changing my Washington and Buccaneers pick to the Washington Commandos, but I didn't do it. I was like, nah, let it ride. We were talking about it at breakfast. My wife can back me up. I was like, that's the one. That one right there. And I was actually nervous about Green Bay and the Eagles a little teeny bit. I was like, probably not going to change that one. I might change, but I never did. Never did. Didn't even think about the Chargers losing to the Texans.
I didn't either.
Didn't even occur to me. You know who picked that one right? It was Ralph. I think Ralph got that one right. Who got 4 right? No, wait, Ralph. I can't remember now.
No, because let me see. I had it pulled up just a second ago because Ralph did it. Yeah, Ralph actually did get 4 right, but Ralph's got the Rams tonight. So if he's wrong and you're right, then balances back out.
Yeah. I mean, I'm so far ahead of him, I could just not pick again for the rest of the year and still win.
Yeah. But if you have a chance to double up the score, run up the score a little bit, why wouldn't you?
Ring of the Show says, if I'd remember the Chargers dropping a 27-0 lead to the Jaguars a few years back, I never would have trusted the Chargers to win that. Aiton's Army says, seeing the Rams field inside the Cardinals Stadium with Cardinals logos and colors all over the place, it's weird. Well, yeah, so is your entire city burning to the ground. That's weird too. But I think that's awfully nice of Bidwell. I think it's awfully nice of, State Farm Stadium, even though awkward. Kiss the Cook says the only thing's missing is the smell of salty air and homeless people's urine. It's unhoused urine. Swave Dave says, does tonight's game even matter? I mean, you know what's funny? Yeah, he says, whoever wins plays the Lions next week, and that's already determined.
Plays the Eagles. They play the Eagles.
Yeah.
So here's the thing I'm thinking. If we end up with the Lions and the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, none of this mattered. Just none of it mattered.
I don't know about that.
I mean, you got to play the games, but if we end up with those two teams in there, everything that happened in the wild card round, the divisional round, it just didn't matter.
I guess if Super Bowl is the only standard by which things matter, but
if the Commandos, by some work of fate, beat the Lions next week, and they go to the championship game, I think we should just give Keon the whole day off. We should get somebody else in there, or I'll come down to the station and I'll work the damn control room. And we should just give Keon the whole day off because he's going to be 6 feet high. We won't be able to contain his enthusiasm. If by some just quirk of fate,
well, okay, it is going directly to my head. If that happens, I don't think it's going to happen. Like I just genuinely don't.
You'll just hear a helium machine somewhere in Mesa. It just enlarge his head, and he will be floating in the clouds, man. I'll come down to the station and I'll run the damn control room.
Well, we needed to have the conversation about next Monday being Martin Luther King Day.
No, we do this every year. I don't get paid on my days off, so I'm working.
He should get paid his days off. Come on, man.
No.
In that case, Randy and I are taking Martin Luther King Day off. It's all yours.
Fine.
Good luck.
I need money. The day off doesn't help me if I'm poorer. What good does that do?
Well, we got to figure out how to get you paid for that day off. That's what we got to do.
Ron,
we have to save up for all my vacations because I have to also save up for the fact that I won't make any money.
No, listen. Here's what we'll do. We'll get the Keon Rose soundboard, and we just hit buttons on that occasionally, make it sound like you're here. See if anybody notices. Just saying, it's worth a try. Try. What are we doing? Ralph, you probably get Ralph on the phone here. I think he's ready. I think he told me the music is so loud where he's at. He's got to step out onto the concourse to talk to us.
The music.
I honestly feel like he's just trying to get away from Neil. That's my guess.
Get off my lawn.
Ringless Joe says, my prediction for the championship game is Ravens versus Chiefs and Rams versus Lions. Same matchups as week 1 of the regular season. We'll see.
I don't know. I think the Vikings are a more complete team because I don't think the Rams, although they've been coming on lately, and I could understand why you're saying, unless you're just a Rams fan, like I'm a Cardinals fan, and they're going to win because you're
a Lions fan. I think he just wants that because it'll be easier for him.
And we do have Ralph.
All right. So Ralph is chiming in from State Farm Stadium. And I can't believe did you leave Neil unattended? Or has he got somebody watching him?
He went to go tailgate with some Vikings buddies of his, so I just let him go, and I haven't seen him in about 40 minutes, and I'm good with that.
Yeah, you'll probably not see him again. So
I
all
might
right.
never see him again, and I'm fine.
Even since you sent those photos to my phone, more and more people have shown up. Has the ratio stayed about the same, or are you starting to see more Rams fans down there?
It's still the same ratio as a ton of Vikings fans.
Wow.
I'd say it's about 75-25 right now, Vikings.
But it's still a lot of empty seats, so that could flip within a short amount of time, right?
Yeah, it can. I mean, I looked around the tailgating going on. It was tons of purple. There's purple everywhere.
Well, I mean, where are the Rams fans? I mean, are you it? You and one other guy?
Yeah, it's just us two, and we're getting into fights. It's really weird.
Well, I mean,
that's not that weird.
No, not at
I
all.
saw a bunch of drunk Ram fans in the parking lot, but they're probably just drinking more, and then they'll come in.
Well, that'll be great for everyone.
And they gave us those cool towels. I think I sent you a picture of it. That's kind of neat.
Yeah. Pippi's with you, and she was holding up a towel. It's just the what was it? The conference championship towel?
No, it's I don't know what the hell it says.
Don't
Let
you
me
have
see. I
one?
think
It
it's
says
I have one right here.
NFC West
It's
champion.
West Division champs.
Right there. I'll just show it to. So it's like, hey, thanks for the towel. It's not big enough to use coming out of the shower or really do anything with. I mean,
wipe your forehead. It's a game towel. It's not supposed to be a shower towel.
Well,
I have something
it'll
else I
cover
can
your
wipe with
no-no
that.
patch. I mean, that's all you need.
Oh, look what I said. Now you have a towel to wipe Neil's drool. That's what I
got
said.
3 of them, so I'm good.
Yeah, you're going to need to save one to just dry your own hands.
I will say, Randy, I feel for you because if you were here, you'd probably not be happy with the way they've got the stadium looking. It's all Ram.
That's okay.
Yeah,
That's
he
all right.
understands. They're just being hospitable, and all that stuff can come down off of off the field and off the rafters. It's a temporary thing, just kind of
Look,
like when
man,
it's the Super
we're
Bowl.
we are the most hospitable team in the NFL.
Yeah,
sure.
You allow so many teams to beat you, and that is really kind of you, Randy.
You know, Jeffrey, I got run over by a car.
I know.
I'll drive down there. I swear to God, I will.
If they ever give a blood alcohol test to the driver, I feel like he's going to jail.
Catch me if you can.
Well, Randy, they are selling Rams gear. Do you want something?
No.
Well, that's going to get you poked in the eye.
I don't want any Rams gear. You know what? Give it to somebody that's there at the football game, not at their homestead trying to put out the fires. Just give it to somebody that's a fire victim.
Yeah, that'll be helpful in putting out very, very small fires. Latina Leprechaun says, I want to hear any more from Ralph about how he's a Seahawks fan. Real Seahawks fans don't cheer for a division rival at a playoff game. Sickening.
Well, she's wrong, and I've already said this story a million times, and I won't say it again. And don't make me bring up your bad experiences because I will bring them up again.
Okay, fair. But also, the reason why we don't want to hear your story again is because no matter how many times you explain it, it doesn't make more sense when you say it. It makes the same little amount of sense.
Yeah. Well, but you're talking about Ralph being a Rams fan or Latina Leprechaun pooping her pants? Which one was it?
Yeah, I didn't want to bring that up.
The Rams fan thing really is
Rams fan.
That you can explain that you grew up watching them. Let it go. That's not your team anymore. Let it go. Just let it go.
I will tell Scott about it.
Tell Scott.
Don't make me call Scott, Latina, because I will.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh no! Hardball.
Oh wow! Hardball. That is brutal. Why would you go there?
Because I could.
So, all right. Well, thanks for the update, Ralph. I'm sure you want to get back to your seats before somebody tries to steal your wife. And who else did you bring to the game tonight?
Oh, Neil brought a +1, some 28-year-old guy I've never met. So, not sure what's going on there, nor do I want to ask questions.
Don't ask, don't tell, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I respect Neil's life choices, and that's fine. So, all right. Well, thanks for letting us know and enjoy the game.
I will.
Who'd you pick in this game?
I got the Rams.
Oh, Ralph.
We know.
Well, wait a second. I've only lost one game this weekend. How many of you guys lost?
I lost 2.
I also lost 2.
All of them.
Randy,
me and Keon were smart. We picked the good teams.
I think I was the smart one. I didn't pick at all.
And Ralph, I could take the rest of the year off and still beat you in the picks contest at this point. So I don't need to hear it. But have fun at the game and let us know if anything weird happens.
All right, guys. Thanks.
All right, later. All right, let's go ahead and take a break. We have one more break, right? Ready to go for us?
Yeah, we do.
Let's take that break. We'll come back, and I don't know what the hell we're going to do. I'll try to talk about the other games, but this is one of those days I don't think we're going to get it done. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
The GCU men's basketball squad is coming off their winningest season in 35 years, their third trip to the NCAA tournament in 4 years, and their first ever NCAA tournament victory. Returning 4 of their 5 starters in Ray Harrison, Colin Moore, Duke Brennan, and reigning WAC Player of the Year Tyon Grant Foster, the Lopes look to defend their WAC titles and make a run to the Sweet 16. With a non-conference slate including Stanford, Georgia, and crosstown rival Arizona State, you won't want to miss a moment of the action. So join me, Michael Potter, and Lopes insider Paul Coro all season long right here on the home of the Lopes, 1580 The Fanatic. Lopes up.
When you're in the thick of a project, Harbor Freight is the place that always comes in handy. Whether you're picking up something for your pickup truck or a power tool for your project, at Harbor Freight, your dollar always goes further. And these days, when everything seems to cost more, you can take pride in knowing that you get hardworking tools at hardworking prices. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
My pain is considerable, but that prescription is dangerous. The side effects of my medicine are worse than my condition.
I'm in recovery. I can't take those pills.
When faced with a health crisis, you shouldn't have to choose between risks.
At the Naturopathic Physicians Group in Scottsdale, our medical doctors are experts in full spectrum care using a natural approach. Patients come in for a variety of issues, including joint pain, chronic conditions, and issues specific to men's and women's health. Our naturopathic doctors can restore pain-free joint function and restore balance in immune, digestive, and hormone systems, which often improves immediate physical symptoms without having you take a bunch of pills. If traditional medicines aren't working, don't you think it's time to start feeling like yourself again? Call Naturopathic Physicians Group at 480-451-6161. That's 480-451-6161. Or go to naturopathicgroup.com.
I'm an Arizona truck driver. I deliver food, medicine, supplies, and hope.
And during times of crisis, I support our communities. But every day I see people putting lives and families at risk.
Distracted driving is deadly, period. Be aware, be safe, and visit sharetheroadaz.com and find tips on how to drive safely around trucks.
This message is sponsored by the Arizona Trucking Association Foundation.
Let's say you've got questions. You're looking into solar, but you don't know where to start. Well, Harmon Solar has the answers. Hi, I'm Jeffrey O'Brien, and listen, there's a couple of ways you can go here. One, visit harmonsolar.com, browse around, because right across the page, they got links to all sorts of great information, like frequently asked questions, equipment, tax credits, even testimonials. Or just give them a call. 800-281-3189. Ask them directly. They'd love to hear from you. That's 800-281-3189. Or just go to harmonsolar.com.
On the road again.
Just Neil, first of all, stop singing. Second of all, why are you singing?
I think he's singing about our Super Sunday pregame show coming up on the morning of the big game.
That's right. On February 9th, we're broadcasting live from the Spot Neighborhood Grill in Glendale.
We'll talk about football, of course.
We'll have special guests and great audience giveaways.
And listeners can meet the Weekend Warriors in person.
So join us live for the Weekend Warriors Super Sunday preview show
at the Spot Neighborhood Grill on Bell Road in Glendale.
February 9th from 9 to noon on 1580, The Fanatic.
It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic. 10 minutes away from Vikings and Rams. And all right, so we had 2 games left to talk about, so we can probably get it done pretty quick. In fact, Hefty Lefty is here to help with the Bills beating the Broncos 31-7. He's got a Broncos versus Bills recap. As you know, Hefty Lefty is a Broncos fan. He says, Broncos score first, and then said, that's enough, we're good. And then the Bills played the rest of the game without them.
Wow.
That's about right. I don't need to read anymore.
Wow.
I got nothing to say. I mean, listen, Bo Nix being a rookie, he's further along than, he should be. I think the Broncos have a lot to look forward to, but they have a lot of work to do in the draft and in free agency. I think that this is a team that is heading in the right direction, but right now they're heading home after a playoff appearance.
I want to know what
nothing to be sad about.
I want to know what Hefty Lefty thinks about those Bronco uniforms.
What do you mean?
They're bright orange. They had this bright orange. They had this cool kind of dark blue matted helmet with the Bronco on this. They looked pretty badass to me.
I don't know. I didn't notice.
I did.
Yeah.
Cool.
Barely paid attention to the game because it was just bad. It
Way
did not
cooler,
go well for them.
Way cooler than the Cardinals Ohio State lookalike uniforms.
I don't know. What do you think of those unis, Hefty Lefty? And what did you think of Josh Allen having a referee, the head referee, Vinovich, came all the way over to his bench to talk to him? Now, people are like, oh, the fix is in. But Josh Allen says, no, Vinovich came over to tell me, hey, knock it off with the yelling at us. He's like, because he was like, I wasn't happy with what was going on, and I was out there yelling, and he came over and says, hey, don't be yelling. And I'm like, it didn't look like it because the ref was going like, almost looked like he was saying, hey, that's my bad. That's my fault. It was kind of doing one of these things with his hands. Leslie's saying, hey, don't yell at me. That's not the move you make when you say, don't yell at me. You go like this. Hey, don't yell at me. You point. You don't do this. This is the, hey, it's my bad. Not the, don't yell at me. Don't yell at me.
I could see that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I don't feel like Josh Allen was being honest about that conversation, to be honest.
I don't know. I'm not going to try and read the body language.
Yeah, I heard. You heard me. Josh Allen's a filthy liar.
Maybe. But maybe
and
not.
Vinovich was over there saying, I'm sorry, Mr. Allen. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm so sorry. Let me just make it up to you. I'll make it up to you.
Are you serious here? Wow.
Josh Allen, filthy liar.
Wow. Wow. I'm going to hang on. I got to Google that. Stand by. Let me pick that up.
I do feel bad.
No, sorry. I don't see anything here.
I do feel bad for the Broncos in that this defense was so great all year. And then they ran into the one team that they're not good at stopping. Like the way the Bills are built. Sometimes it just comes down to matchups. And
come on, man. The Bills were built for a Super Bowl win. And if they fall short, if they get knocked out,
they're the Bills. They were built for a Super Bowl almost. That's their history.
Oh man, I don't know how you could say that.
Sure, but I'm not going to
out loud.
I'm not going to put onto Josh Allen what happened to Jim Kelly. He's a different quarterback. He's a different person. It's a different group of people.
Of the Bills.
Well, then that would mean that Josh Allen would get mouth cancer later on in his life, right?
Yeah,
I mean, he probably should have a doctor already picked out.
Keeps going on with those zinnies. He might.
Hold on. Is he doing that too? I knew that Baker Mayfield was doing that.
Oh yeah, no, Josh Allen, big zinny guy.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think Randy, you might be right. Actually, no
one's ever seen him do it on the field, but he's talked about it before.
Gamecock says tush push needs to be outlawed. I feel that's all Jalen Hurts can do. It's not true, and other teams did the tush push effectively as well. It doesn't need to be outlawed. People just got to figure out how to defend it better. Period. Let's talk about the tush push kids, and now we will have talked about all the games at least somewhat. Eagles taking on the Packers, and that was an ugly win. But 22-10. Never really thought that the Packers had a whole lot of a chance in this game, but they didn't make it easy. And of course, the Eagles didn't make it easy for themselves either.
I thought it was going to be a close game, and then that fumble on the kick return, I think, just set a bad tone for the Packers from the very beginning, where you get the ball, and then the moment you have the ball, you actually just give the ball to the Eagles right there in the red zone. Once they punched it in, it felt like, man, this game was already going to be tight enough. You couldn't afford to make a mistake like that early.
Oh, did you guys on the Beat the Book with Dylan Cohen show, did you talk about the bad beat where Saquon Barkley's like, I got the ball. Oh, I think I'll slide here. And so any of those anytime touchdown bets, gone.
That was gone. If you bet the Packers to cover the non-call pass interference,
another one.
They just absolutely hurt. That's the one that hurt me personally.
Well, financially, but then there was some bad officiating, not like tragic amount, but there was quite a bit of bad officiating.
There was enough.
But what helped the bad officiating? The eye in the sky, the instant replay review thing was like, hey, well, you got so you heard from them quite a bit. So this could have been a much worse officiated weekend. But then there were some times where they got something wrong that couldn't be reviewed or challenged, and they didn't change anything. But as far as the non-calls, it's like, well, can't see everything on the field, especially not the ref that's looking right at it. You expect too much.
Yeah. Why would he be able to see it? His eyes are only right there.
I'm just saying, you expect so much. Saquon Barkley doesn't care what you think about your betting or about awards. He says stats don't matter. The only stat that matters is the win. Saquon Barkley is right.
This is the mindset that you have. I mean, he's always been like this, but this is the mindset that you have when you play meaningless football in New York, and then you get to play football that matters somewhere else. You get a different perspective in the league. It's not about you.
Hugely different perspective. He's like, this is what a hole looks like. Oh my God. Oh, this is what having a good team around me is. Wow, this is so new to me. Oh my God. And then, of course, also on the Eagles, it's not just the fact that they're making holes for him, but there's also, you got Hurts there doing pretty good, and he's got guys. AJ Brown catching balls. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so
and reading books. What? Reading books? Yeah, AJ Brown sitting there on the sideline reading books, and he's like, oh, I read books on the sideline all the time. Is that allowed? I mean, do you want your players reading books, or you want them watching the game, being kind of part of the action?
I mean, guys chat with each other all the time. I don't know.
He's like, I don't want to talk. He just starts reading the book. He starts reading Inner Excellence. So it was inspirational. Jalen Hurts, they're like, hey, AJ Brown sitting there reading. He's like, yeah, I've never seen him read, but I've seen the book in his hands. Wait a second.
Yeah, that's mean. That's so mean.
He says everybody has a different thing and finds their flow in different ways. As he followed up trying to cover it up, but that was pretty good singer right there.
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen him with the book. Never seen him read.
Because the thing with the wide receiver is when you get the play, you know what route you're supposed to run. There's not really a whole lot you're going to gain from watching the defense play.
Well, still, I kind of want my guys to be a part of
with quarterbacks, they're on the sideline. They've got the iPad or whatever, looking at what their last series looked like because they're the decision makers. You're the wide receiver. Look, if you say run a 9, I'm running a 9. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, read on, whatever works for you, AJ. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time now for On This Date in Big George's Sports History. Back in the year 1958, the National Collegiate Association Athletic, whatever, the NCAA, you know who they are, adopted a new football rule, the 2-point conversion after touchdowns, opening coaches to endless second guessing, but also giving teams another way to win. The NFL waited a full 30 years before implementing the rule in 1994. Back to me, Jeffrey.
Wow. I mean, that was cool. That's a deep dive there, Big George. Good job.
1958, right there.
Wow.
Swave Dave says they've moved all the Rams gear here before it burnt up, but wait till the end of the game, and I bet it'll be practically free. Pickle D says, take a Stetson Bennett jersey, Ralph. What?
It probably means I'll take a Stetson Bennett jersey, Ralph.
Okay, Pickle D. Okay. Moist One says, can he get me a Jimmy?
Because Pickle D's a Georgia fan. Stetson Bennett played at Georgia. That's why he wants the jersey.
Moist One wants a Jimmy G jersey. Is he the backup for the Rams right now? That's right. Ringless Joe says, top 5 most paid quarterbacks. 3 aren't in the playoffs. 1 through 3 picks and lost, and the others are on a bye. Thank you for that unsolicited chunk of information.
All right.
Ringless Joe. Latina Leprechaun says, good luck tonight, Vikings fans. I'll be cheering for you. I won't be cheering for you. But, I did pick you. I did pick the Vikings to win. I don't know. I just hope it's a good game. We had one good game over the weekend. The rest were kind of like, meh. I mean, it was worth watching, but you didn't feel like,
it wasn't a great time.
Yeah. All right, guys, we will see you tomorrow in your radios at 3 p.m. Westwood One is up next with this playoff fun. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Gil Alexander, host